What's going on, PTG fam? Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. This episode is brought to you by G2 Paintball. We are so excited to talk to you about what is going on in G2 Paintball and BKI Paintball. They have partnered up to bring you the Paintball Combine here to the West Coast. It's going to be held in Arizona at the end of January. You guys need to make sure you head over to bkipaintball.com and g2paintball.com to get all the information. Make sure you are ready, locked, and loaded. The Paintball Combine is coming to the West Coast. This is an awesome opportunity for all of you West Coast ballers to showcase your skills in front of some of the game's top players and top coaches. You don't want to miss this opportunity. G2 Paintball has been doing amazing things. Obviously, BKI has as well, and now they have partnered up and are bringing you a massive and awesome opportunity here on the West Coast. Head over again to g2paintball.com and bkipaintball.com to get all the information. This episode is also brought to you by Heal Brand. Heal Brand is an all-natural CBD company that Tyler and myself have fallen in love with. If you guys know us, if you listen to the show regularly, you know that we use CBD products in our day-to-day routine. For me personally, it's about sleep. I love quality sleep, and sleep has always been something very difficult for me to get in a quality fashion. I do a lot of traveling. Often I'm, going from hotel room to hotel room, and falling asleep and staying asleep can be a real nightmare, no pun intended sometimes. And CBD has been a staple for the last couple years, and this year we found a brand that is just amazing. They make superior products. They have this stuff called nanotechnology, and basically what it means is that the CBD can break through the cellular wall and get into your bloodstream a lot faster and more efficiently. Often CBD products take up to a week, maybe 2 weeks for you to actually feel the effects of. This stuff, I take a couple drops, I notice it right away. They also have these amazing knockout shots. I'm obsessed with the knockout shots. A few of you have ordered them and written back to me and told me how much you're enjoying them as well. So I'm really glad and happy to hear that their nighttime knockout shots and CBD products have been helping you guys as well. I'm a huge advocate for sleep, good sleep, quality sleep, better sleep, more sleep. All we need is sleep. That's when our body recovers. It has a huge effect on our overall mood, our happiness, our energy levels. So sleep is just fantastic. I know I was on an intense training program leading up to World Cup, and our sponsors, Heal Brand, Transfuse, G2, all played such a big role in our success at the event. And Heal Brand CBD products, I was able to take my tinctures at night, not deal with any swelling or inflammation, have my knockout shot, get a good 8 hours of sleep, wake up feeling very well rested, not groggy, felt recovered. Just really love the products. So you guys can head over to healbrand.com if you would like. Check them out. Use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout and get 10% off. This episode is brought to you by Transfuse. Transfuse, guys, ladies, gentlemen. Dynamite. Transfuse is the best. We absolutely love this stuff. It is the best, number one, all-natural electrolyte drink that has everything you need during these times. Magnesium, potassium, sodium, vitamin C, choline, zinc, vitamin B. It is a great cognitive enhancer. It is an immune booster, and it boosts your entire electrolyte functionality. I love it. It tastes amazing. I enjoy the watermelon lime. I would drink that over anything else. It helps me get down more water because it's so tasty and it's so good for you. It has all the vitamins and nutrients that I need to function at a high level. I sweat a lot. I deal with a lot of cramps when I'm exerting myself to the max like I was at World Cup. So I had to kind of overdo it. I was drinking, 3-4 packets a day. But now that we're back and, we're not necessarily training for much, it's a little colder outside, 1 packet a day is great. It has me feeling really good. I feel really sharp. My mind is right. During these wild times, we need to make sure that our immune system is strong. And I like to think that Transfuse has really been helping me in that department as well. It's a great alternative to any sort of sodas or anything like that you guys are drinking. I really hope that you guys are not drinking sodas. If you are, consider getting off of them and trying something like Transfuse. Again, it's amazing. Tastes phenomenal. I know we have a few listeners that have made the switch from soda to Transfuse, and one of our listeners even said that they lost 30 pounds in the first couple months. I mean, that's amazing. Seems like a lot, and maybe it is, but that's what they said, and I think that's fantastic. If you can cut out those sugary sodas and drinks like, orange juices and stuff like that are just bombarded with sugar and replace it with proper nutrients, you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to be happy and just living a more plentiful quality of life. All right, without further ado, thank you guys. Sorry, I forgot to give you the code. I do think our listeners know by now, though. You go to translabs.com, that's tranzlabs.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout. You get 10% off. But check this out. This is also really cool. If you do subscribe to where you can pick what flavors and what you want, they will ship the product to you once a month. You get an additional 11% off, so it's 21% off the box. In total, it becomes a steal. The packets are, less than $1.50 each, which if you think about it, that's cheaper than a Gatorade, cheaper than sodas, all that kind of stuff. And you're getting something that is really good for you. So again, translabs.com, tranzlabs.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout. And it's a great way to support the show. We're very thankful for you guys for supporting our sponsors that do support us. And I just can't tell you how much we appreciate it enough. All right, here we go. Now, without further ado, this episode with Mikey Urena was one for the books. So much love for the young Jedi, as you will. Mikey has been really chopping at the bit for years. He works his butt off. His work ethic is second to none, and it's been a long time coming. There's a funny story in here. We've been wanting to get him on the show for a while, and he kept saying, I can't come on yet. I haven't done anything. I have to win first. And so it's pretty cool that we got to win World Cup. As soon as we did, Tyler and I both looked at him and we said, hey, dude, time to get on the show. So without talking your ear off anymore during this pre-ad time, we're going to hop right in there.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon.
Great shot by all the guys, though. Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Mikey, world champ, baby. What's happening?
What up, Mark? What up, T?
Yeah.
What's up, brother? Good to have you on here, dude. You did it, man.
You did
World
it.
Cup champ.
We did.
I love it.
Well,
We
You guys
did
did it.
We did, but I think what Tyler's referring to is we've been asking you to come on the show, and you said you can't come on until you win an event. This was
That's right.
well before World Cup. You're like, I haven't done anything. I can't come on until we win an event, and then what do you know? Next event we play, World Cup champs.
The boys did it.
There we go. Good. That was a huge team win, man. That's the biggest thing that's so special for the organization is everybody threw their chips in and we all came out big winners there. It was huge, man. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, it was definitely sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, what kind of dog you got? I think your wolf is off the leash.
Oh yeah, he's outside barking. He does that all the time.
Oh, okay.
He'll stop
Nice.
in like
Shout out.
30 seconds.
Shout out to all the listeners. Mikey, where are you tuning in from right now?
Out here in Goodyear, Arizona. Hoodyear, baby.
There we go.
Goodyear. All right. AZ, I know you go back and forth to NorCal, Arizona. You do some work up in NorCal. You're in Arizona right now?
Yeah, I just got back from California like last Saturday. And then I'm staying here for another month or 2, and then I go back up there for a couple months.
Nice.
Do you do work in Arizona when you're back, or is your type of work to where you're like, well, first of all, tell everybody what you do outside of paintball.
Oh, outside of paintball, I'm pretty much an industrial mechanic. I go to power plants and fix their valves, so machining, whatever.
Fix their valves.
Work.
You came to Dynasty, fixed our leaky valves on the snake side,
Yeah,
You, Arturo, and Scotty saved us over there.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of saved us shooting Billy, but I'll take the credit.
There we go.
Hey, it's again big team win. So, dude, that's awesome, man. So when you're in Arizona, are you off? Is it like when you travel, you work, and then you come home and you have off time for a month or two at a time? Is that what it is?
Pretty much. Sometimes we'll have like a project. There's a couple plants down the street from my house that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cool.
I'll work out there. But most of the time when I'm in Arizona, I'm just hanging out at home, hanging out with my dogs all day.
Dude, I love it. And we're neighbors now, so it's awesome. We get to link up and train, and we worked really hard coming into World Cup, all of us on the Dynasty organization.
Yeah.
And obviously I think that the little details like that, all the little fine tunings, the extra work, the workouts, Hell Week in Arizona, we brought Dynasty over here too. That stuff really did make a huge difference, not only in the play, but in the togetherness, right? In the organization really having a clear vision, and we all bought in with Rusty. And he, as corny as it sounds, we said, what are we going to do? We're going to win World Cup. And we all bought in. We said, we're winning this tournament. And he said a really cool thing too. He was like, if you can't say it, you can't
out
do
loud.
it. If you can't
if you
say
can't
it out
say
loud,
it out loud, you're not ready to do it.
That's right.
And I think every single word in that sentence is so crucial. As a matter of fact, if you can't say it out loud, you're not ready to do it. Because you know how it is, Ty. I mean, we've all been on teams where like some guys they say it every time, no matter what, and it's just kind of like it just doesn't come off the right way, And there's a difference when it devalues 100%. There's a difference when you buy in the way that everybody on this team did. As soon as they announced World Cup was happening, everybody was all in. Everybody was ready to clock in to grind out whatever it was going to take. And I agree, dude. Those practices in Arizona, especially that first 3-day weekend, was fucking brutal. First of all, Crampa. I got the nickname Crampa. That's great.
Dude, Mikey, talk to us about living in Arizona and training out here, bro. Because you've been doing it obviously for a long time. This is my first season, but it's crazy. It's a game changer. You have to wake up early, and it's piping hot, man.
Oh yeah, you get out there before the sun gets up, and you try to get out there like 2-3 hours later.
Yeah,
try to make those quick days.
Yeah, see, I don't mind waking up early. That's not an issue. I'm down. That was actually the problem out there. I kept saying, why don't we get up at 6? And Ryan is like, no, we're gonna show up at 9:30. Ryan is the one guy on the team. He refuses to wake up early. Like no matter what, he wants to sleep as long as he can. It's like he's like, dude, when I'm at home, I've got a daughter now. It's all he blames it on Sloan now, but trust me, we've all traveled with him for a long time. Well before Sloan, he did not like waking up early. Like if we have early games, it's like, hey, come on, let's get there like an hour and a half, 2 hours before. He's no, dude, we'll be there an hour before.
Totally.
I'm not getting up early.
I feel him on the having a kid thing. Now it's like there's no games. It's like we're sleeping in. We're sleeping in. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. And Mikey, so you obviously won your first tournament. This was your first pro tournament. Was the World Cup?
Might have been his first tournament ever.
Your first tournament.
I won one other national one. I've won some local ones. Come on.
Okay. All right.
So what does this mean to you, man? What does it mean to you that happened? It's pretty crazy.
Oh, I mean, it was quite the experience, and it was pretty cool to do it with people that I've been looking up to for a really long time, like Marcelo and yourself. I've been watching you guys since I was like 10 years old. I saw you guys on ESPN. I thought it was the sickest thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know, that was a while ago. Can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah, I mean, Mikey, you've been chopping at the bit for a long time. I remember back in 2013, I think it was, when I was playing with the Ironmen and we were building that team. It was like me, Mouse, over there with Hinman. You were driving out from Arizona every weekend trying to find a spot on a pro team, and your work ethic has never, ever been anything that anybody could say anything bad about. That your work ethic is second to none.
That's right.
You have sacrificed so much to pursue this dream, to pursue a professional career. And, you first went pro with Elevation, right? And then played with DMG and, now found yourself over on San Diego Dynasty. But I think it's an awesome story that we'll get into in a little bit of your whole story of how hard you did work. Because people that don't know you, obviously you're not really big on social media.
I was just going to say, dude. Yeah.
Well, we were just talking about this. You use your mom's email address. You don't even have an email address. Like I had to send you these Zoom invites through your mom's email address.
I love that.
You're like, you're like, yeah, I love that too. I do too. But people that don't know you, they have no idea. They just see, oh yeah, I mean, sure, another pro player that like, I don't know, wins an event. That's how people look at it. It's so short-minded, right?
Totally. But they don't understand what he did. They don't understand how hard Mikey works. This, like you said, Marcelo, Mikey is second to none when it comes to work ethic. And where did you get that drive from to have that kind of work ethic? We're going to get into G2 paintball and all that kind of stuff here in a little bit, but you show up to G2 training events that I'm hosting.
You tried to pay for one of those damn things, dude. Like as you were on Dynasty, we were like, wait, hold up. Mikey's paying for this?
It says something about you. That says something.
It does.
You know, that's huge.
But I don't know. I think I get my work ethic from my dad. He's been in the military and my mom was in the military. So they have like a really strong foundation on how to reach goals. So they kind of taught me that young, kind of like you, Tyler. Your dad was a Ranger. Mm-hmm. So that's where awesome. I learned that.
Damn,
totally.
Dude.
Makes
that's
sense.
Heavy duty. Yeah. And huge shout out to all the military services. Thank you, everybody out there who keeps us safe and allows us to live this life we live in the United States of America. And that's amazing, that story, dude, because there's a lot to be said about that militant-mindedness, you know, and using that towards being the best that you can be in anything, whether it's paintball or school or just being a good, you know, spouse. It's really deep and it's in there and it can drive you to do great things. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. You know, Mikey, it's also... It's not just with G2, Ty. There's been so many things, and these are, Mikey, not to put you on blast, man. I hope it doesn't embarrass you at all. It shouldn't be embarrassing. It honestly is a testament. I would be doing the same thing if I had these opportunities like BKI, G2, and I was coming up. I would have done the same thing. Yeah. But Ryan says you were the very first BKI member as well, like way back in the day. You got like a free subscription or something, but you know, like you have consistently, again. This is, you know, we're at about 8 years since I've known you, you know, maybe 7 years when you were driving out to California every weekend. That's no easy drive, you know, 6 hours every weekend. You would come out there with actually no assurance that you're even going to get game time. That's how it was. I remember those conversations. It was like, well, you could come out, but you're not guaranteed to get play time. Like you're not going to just come out and jump on with us. But if you're there, if you're at the field, and we need a body, you know, or like one of our guys needs air or something, whatever it is, you can get a point in. You might be able to get 2 points in, you know, who knows what you're going to get. And you didn't say, I don't really know if it's worth it for me to drive all the way out there to get like 3 points. You said, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there, you know, and, you know, granted, it didn't work out at that time. You weren't quite ready, you know, but that's another thing. You didn't turn away. I want to talk to you about that too. We're going to dive into your whole story. Obviously, you know how the show goes, but there were a lot of opportunities, in my opinion, just from what I know on this side. I'm sure this is something Tyler and I love about the show. Like we're both going to learn a lot about you, you know, even though we're good friends, we're teammates, you know, like, but that's the great part of this. But I guarantee there were so many opportunities for you to quit and not keep pursuing this. And you didn't, and now you're sitting here a world champion, which is just
little did you know when he was driving out to California all those weekends, it was to see that girl that he liked so much, and then there were some parties out there. The paintball.
Mikey's had a girlfriend. He's been in a relationship a long time. He's
there we go,
good man,
dude. All heart. Dude. That's a mission to get out there.
All heart.
Love
totally. Hell yeah. So Mikey, let's jump into, well, first I want to talk, since the event, what have you been doing? Have you been celebrating at all? Have you know, what's been going on?
Oh yeah, I definitely took like 2 weeks to celebrate, but recently I played the last WCPPL. My team.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. Indeed. Yes, sir. How'd you do?
My team didn't do so hot, but mainly it was just we went in unprepared. We didn't walk the fields. We didn't show up before our games early enough.
Yeah. Wait, why didn't you walk the fields?
I had something to do on Thursday, so I had to drive down late Thursday night, and then everyone else, I'm not sure what their reasoning was.
So for sure, you would definitely be able to say because you did not take that time to look at the field, do those extra little intricacies, it had a huge effect on the outcome.
Oh, yeah. Of
course.
Ginormous effect, I mean.
Because people don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, we didn't know where to put people. We didn't know who could do what from what spots, what slows down anything.
You have a Wolverine in your house?
Hey,
yeah. Yeah, 1 second. Let me lock up the little one.
Okay. Yeah, while you do that, I just want a major shout out to our boy Vic.
Yeah.
Vic right now is giving me a phone call. Shout out Victor. G2. I love Vic. Vic's
dude, he stopped by my house today and dropped off pastries for me.
He's the best. He's just such a good dude. I can't wait to call him back after this.
Yeah. He also, shout out, my fingers at this very moment still smell like tamales. He dropped off some tamales too. Victor, I love you. Thank you.
That's amazing.
They're the best.
That is pretty funny. You straight up had a Wolverine. All right, Mikey's back. for all
Yeah,
the
dude,
listeners.
little wiener dog Wolverine. Let's go, baby.
Is that, it is, huh? Of course. The little ones are always the loudest, huh?
They're feisty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and a coyote.
Mikey, I gotta say, dude, I gotta give you some shit on this. I gotta push back on this. You being obviously that one, I think it's crazy that you were able to play in that league, right? I was talking to Mike about it. I'm like, dude, this dude just won the World Cup. He's a pro player. How is he allowed to play? And, I love what Mike's doing. I think Mike's doing an amazing job with the WCPPL. It's honestly the best regional league I think I've ever been to.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
The talent, the way it's ran, everything about it is pristine, right? Yeah. It's just well done. And you would expect nothing less from Mike Hinman, right? That's just the type of person he is. Yeah. But his whole goal is to allow pro players that, are in the lower echelon and trying to make a name for themselves, trying to get that experience, trying to work their way up, give them another opportunity to compete, which I think is awesome. I get it. He's like, I don't want, you, Tyler, Mouse, I don't want you guys playing in this and just running away with it. I want to give the lower kind of rank, the newer pros a chance to develop, and so that's amazing. But what I was going to say is, dude, it was the final event over there. How could you not go in making sure your team is dialed, doing everything the right way? Like, what's that about? You're going to have to talk to me, boy.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it, right? They, Andy Horvath, he played for you guys on Dynasty too.
Yeah,
right.
He's like the main guy on violence that controls the pit. So he didn't play this last event. So he had a big effect by not shooting people off the break. And then it's hard to control the personalities on that team. Yeah. And I'm not a guy who's going to do that. Like, that's just not my personality. I'm not here to like run the ship. I'm just here to follow suit with everything.
Be a soldier.
Yeah. And maybe, I think that you need to get that gear though. I need you to have that gear because, and of course, there's a time and a place for everything. And I totally understand that. But I need you to be able to go into an organization, and I want you to single-handedly take them there. You know what I mean? That's and it's all the little things. But I hear where you're coming from, so I'm not going to sweat you so much on this. But yeah, I need you in there.
But you guys got to at least make Sunday.
Yeah.
True.
You guys got to at least make Sunday, Mikey.
Yeah. You're right.
You got to be able to go and take over a D2 tournament. This is what Tyler and I talk about this all the time on the show. That's like the first big step in new pros evolution, right? Is when they can go and travel. And, granted, this is a little different. It's a local tournament, but it's the same thing, right? Yeah. Traveling overseas, and you could take a team and no matter what, like if you're not having the meetings, you're not just on pure playing ability alone, you can go and win games in like D2 semi-pro. You need to be able to do that. And that's a great opportunity to do that, right? Because you get to explore what kind of creativity you're capable of. Whereas on Dynasty, there's so many times where it's like, oh, well, you know what? Don't explore that. I need you alive. I need you to make sure that you're alive this play because we have a lot of other stuff riding on this, right? So you don't have all the possibilities, all the opportunity all the time to expand in that way. You kind of are playing a little more within a system. Those times where you're playing in these local, WCPPLs, or if you start traveling internationally down to Arturo's league, you go to Europe, you really want to start to be able to break out of what you're comfortable with. And I know we've talked many times, about WC and training for it and like how I feel you should play, yada, yada. That's it. You gotta learn how to put a team on your back, because if you ever want to put the team on your back in the professional US division, you got to get practice doing it. I think that's something that, fortunately I had growing up. There was with Aftermath, myself or Mouse, we'd kind of piggyback back and forth. There was a lot of times where we did a lot of the work. Tyler was the same way growing up with his teams. So you have that foundation, and you look back, and I remember talking with Archie. He also had really early success. You look at Greenspan, you look at the Dynasty guys, they had really early success before they were pro, to where they were the main characters of the story. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it's an opportunity. These other leagues, these other events are an opportunity for you to be the main character and take that to Dynasty.
How many years pro, Mikey?
If you count this one, this would be my third year. So 2.5, really.
Let me just tell you, when I was 3 years into being pro, I was a child.
You were 12.
Yeah. I was a child. So I would have been nowhere near able to do what I can do today, and like what Marcelo can do today, just from an awareness standpoint and an experience standpoint. And even, within the last 5 years, it's gone to entirely new levels of teaching and being able to really get the energies correct in the pit, get the energies correct where they need to be, so that we can have a high performing, team. But it's a multi-layered cake, man. There's so many different facets to it all. But it's really preparation. I mean, at the core of it all, it's preparation, and then knowing when to do things at certain times. And it's just experience based, but it's definitely something that as you continue your pro career, and, now that you're a world champion, you're going to have a lot more opportunities to expand and do these types of things. It's going to be fun to watch you grow and learn how to do that. And, it's not going to be easy, but you'll definitely keep you on your toes, and you'll learn a lot doing it.
Oh yeah. Definitely going to be hard work.
Yeah. And do you want to travel and teach and do that kind of stuff with paintball?
Teaching, not so much, but yeah, I like playing. So I want to try to go play some more.
Good. We need to get you out all over the place, man. We need to get you in Europe. We need to get you in Australia.
Mikey wants to be a contract killer.
Yeah, that's right.
It. I love it. It's actually like, that's kind of a mentality that Mouse took too, and obviously Mouse is one of our boys, someone that we grew up with, and one of the best to ever do it. You can't argue Mouse's game. Oh yeah. But it's funny, you talk to him about certain things. He's breaking out more now, right? Like, he was just at WC coaching a team. He's done a few clinics, and he's really good at clinics. Actually, he just is so afraid to put himself out there. We talk about it all the time. Maybe if he hears this, he's gonna be pissed that I said afraid. But he's like, he prefers to not be in that role, right? And so there's nothing wrong with taking that route either, Mikey. We talk about this all the time. That's right. So many different ways you can attack a professional paintball career. And it's fine to not want that role.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as a player, for your evolution, I think I'm referring to something different, right? Not necessarily being a teacher of the team, but just being able to, with your sheer playing ability, put a divisional team on your back and win in that division is the first big step in being able to, put a pro team on your back for a couple points, right? You might not be able to do it for a whole match, but can you do it a couple points?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and dude, it's difficult, bro. Like, there's so many, it's like herding cats sometimes, you're like, all right, here we go, let's get this going, guys. But it's fun, man. That's the exciting part about it all, is the unknown and the challenge. So it's holiday time, bros. What's going on with you right now, Mikey? How is Thanksgiving? What are you going to be doing for Christmas coming up?
Oh, Thanksgiving was good. I hung out with my girlfriend, Kim, and her family.
There we go.
Cousin's really COVID conscious, so we had to wear a mask inside her house to get the food. We had to sit outside. She only had 2 heaters that only heat like 5 feet away from them. Boy. I was freezing my nuts off. Everyone's speaking in Spanish. I don't understand Spanish, so I'm bored. Texting Kim, when are we leaving?
Yeah. Oh no, dude, Mikey.
Hey, I love it. He's shooting it straight, man.
He is. I love it too.
That's one thing that nobody can ever take away from you, kid. You're a straight shooter, man. You let it fly just how it is.
More so off the field than on the field, but yeah, absolutely. It is.
Yeah.
I just play.
What about you, Marcy? Hey, what have you been going on lately?
Dude, I've been enjoying myself, but this is going to be a great segue into what our meeting with Tom Cole yesterday, which we're definitely going to get into about the holidays, right? So for me, here's how the typical end of my year goes. We play World Cup. Win, lose, or draw, I go on a little adventure. We go to Australia. That's the final event over in Australia. Then the weekend after, there's the final event in Asia, World Paintball Championship. Shout out to Acha, WPC. I can't wait to get back out there and see them. Mm-hmm. And it's just a good way to end the year. It's kind of, so the Australian event is really serious. It's really hard to win. A lot of the pros go over there. It's pretty intense. And then you go over to the Asia event. It's the first weekend in December. And it's kind of like, everybody's decompressing. You're just having fun. You're drinking beers on the beach. The event is right on the water. It's amazing. It's so dope. And then I come home and there's no paintball of December. I've always left just December completely off the books. I don't do any clinics. I don't do anything. I just enjoy time with my family, have the holidays, overeat all the pastries, all whatever it is, I just enjoy myself. And, this year not having any of those events to go to was definitely a bummer, but we won World Cup, and literally right after, we've talked about it on the show already, but I booked the victory vacation like 3 weeks before Cup. Again, it just goes back to what we were saying. We were like, if you can't say it, if you don't believe it, you're not ready.
You booked the flight.
I knew we were winning. That really wasn't a vacation. Like my girlfriend that I went with, I told her I'm like, this isn't like this is a celebration vacation. This is a victory vacation. This isn't like, I'm not taking you somewhere. We're partying. This is celebrating for sure. And so, it's just funny. We went and did that. That was amazing. Then my mom lives about an hour north of Las Vegas, in a little town called Mesquite. So for Thanksgiving, we went up there, did some golfing, hung out with my brothers. It was good. I haven't seen my little brother in a little while. Got to hang out with my nieces, my mom, my aunt. So I haven't seen them in a while either. So it's just been good. It's been a really relaxed time. We've had these amazing shows to do. Unfortunately, San Diego just yesterday morning went back into a 3-week stay-at-home order. So a lot of the restaurants and stuff are closed. So, there's not much to do. We are fortunate that I get to do these shows and see you guys. Technology has blessed us with the ability to still hang out. Can you imagine like doing this 40 years ago? Like how, oh my goodness, we'd be writing notes to each other, man, but it's really not that bad. We can't complain too much, like we get to see both of you guys right now. It's like we're hanging out in person.
Yeah, true.
True. But no, things have been great, man. Things have been really good. I will say this though, and I've said this to you, Tyler. I haven't said it to Mikey yet, but I was on a good high. If you guys were watching my stories going down to Mexico, I was on a good high from that win. But it's almost now.
You had that poor girl smell on your toe, bro. I saw that.
No, hold on. That's not just a toe. That's a championship toe. You better get it right. That's a championship toe right there. You better get it right. Ain't no regular ass toe. Ain't no second place toe. Last place toe. Not making Sunday ass having toe. That's a championship toe.
Yeah, that's right. Respect on the name.
Yeah, but you put some respect on that toe. We've been enjoying it. I got a beautiful Christmas tree here that we went and got. We've been decorating. My girlfriend has this most amazing dog that honestly, I don't tell her this, but I think the dog is really what has pushed for the relationship. Like I love the dog so much. The dog's amazing. Little Piper is the best. I've been enjoying it, but the high of the win is gone actually. I'm thirsty and hungry for more. I just want to get back to practice. As a matter of fact, it's funny how it's like a roller coaster. It's so high. It feels so good for the first like week or two afterwards. And I'm ready to get back to practice because it just shows what our team is capable of. And so I want us to keep the focus. I want us to actually ramp it up and go into next year with an even hungrier mentality and more of that. We can win the series. We can win as many events as we show up to. Now, how many that will be, let's talk about, because we just had this meeting with Tom Cole yesterday.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Marcelo.
Pretty crazy stuff.
Dude, it's about that hunger, dude, that drive, and not being happy. Like, of course I'm happy we won World Cup. Like, I'd be stupid to say I'm not happy, but I say this all the time. I'm like, I'm not happy. I'm not just happy with that. I'm not happy with just that. Like, I want it to be more, and I need to will it to be more with the work. We all put in the work, we can do it, Well,
I want to be real about something as well. If you do look at it objectively, J-Rab wasn't there. It's arguably Impact's best player.
Yep.
Kirill and Karslev weren't there. Two of their best players.
Yep.
Archie was not playing. Arguably it is X Factor's best player. Rainey is making a case right now, but it's Archie. Yeah. So, and not to take anything away, and we didn't have Yosh and Alex, which are huge boosters to Dynasty.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like if you look at the way that final match even went, dude, we easily could be sitting here with a second place, right? We did not show up and totally dominate.
No, we didn't.
We squeaked out a Dynasty Magic win, right? And that's amazing. That's the way finals matches should go. They should never be
insane.
It was insane, But at the same time, it just shows like there is a lot of work to be done still. There is a big hill to climb next year if we want to do it again. we can't have this illusion that we can just turn it on and win at any time we want, because next year is going to be way harder.
So Mikey, what can we do to be the best version of ourselves as a team moving forward? What would be some critiques that you could give our organization?
Critiques to the organization?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really liked having that third practice, that first weekend in Arizona where we went 3 days straight. I feel like everyone was real gritty that practice, real focused in on that. Maybe we could add like a third weekend of practice. I don't know like how logistically that looks. But,
well, we're actually going to get into something here that you were a part of the meeting that we had last night. We were talking with the NXL and they're, bouncing ideas off of us and moving into the 2021 season. There very well could be some huge changes happening within the industry and going to be pretty groundbreaking for tournament paintball as a whole, moving across not only America, but Europe and Latin America as well. I think they're talking about getting that going as well in there. So there's going to be some huge pushes with the NXL to have a new system and a new way of holding and running tournaments, essentially, with a whole new points breakdown, and it's gonna be pretty crazy. We had a pretty in-depth convo last night.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway from it, right, is they want a way to have a huge prize package for the best pro team in the world. It would be an event, they're liking the idea of calling it the Super Cup, and basically you would have three major events, right? Those are worth, and again, all these numbers are arbitrary and kind of up in the air right now, but the majors would be worth more points than the 6 other events that they're talking about having.
And they're calling those open events.
Open events, that's right.
Yeah.
So you would have 3 major events. If you're a pro team and you win one of those major events, it basically qualifies you for an extra event called the Super Cup. The Super Cup, which would be held, and we got to talk about this, especially after we just talked about Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They want the Super Cup to be held the last weekend in January.
Yeah.
And so basically there would be no payout for any of the pro wins in a calendar year until the following year. So the Super Cup, right?
Yeah.
So if there were, say you win the first event, you don't get a payout, but you get a guaranteed spot to the Super Cup. Super Cup first place pays, something like 50 grand, all the way down until 10th place, which they're only going to take 10 teams. So you're basically playing the whole season to qualify for this Super Cup. If you do make it to the Super Cup, you're guaranteed pay, no matter what place you get. Yeah. Right. But at the very bottom, it's like 8 grand. So it would be a little less than if you were to win an event. But that's probably more palatable for a lot of pro teams because there's so many teams that
never win.
They never win an event and they're never going to be in the finals, but they might get 5th. They might, or like even like, in that area where if they qualify and they make it to the Super Cup, they're making more money, than they would have all year. Now, our rebuttal to the conversation was, an extra event is a lot to put on to these teams.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why the structure was kind of interesting. And again, nothing's set in stone. They're bouncing ideas around.
Is all up in the air.
This is all up in the air, but it's the direction that they want to go in.
Yeah.
So with the 3 major events, those are the ones that all the pro teams kind of would have to play. I do forget though. I thought if you win the first one, that qualifies you for the Super Cup. Or if you win the second, if you win any of them, it automatically qualifies you. So you wouldn't have to play all the majors. But by playing the majors, you get more points.
Yeah.
Right? So then you have 6 opens. So like Dynasty, for example, we could choose to go to the open that's in our region. Cheaper travel, we can pick and choose. It's kind of like surfing to qualify for the US Open and the big events where there's a lot of money. Professional surfers can, like, I could grab my surfboard and say, damn, I'm 1,500 points behind qualifying. If I fly out to Bali right now, I could compete in this competition and potentially win, 1,000 points. I need to do that. Whereas other pros, they're like, I don't need to go there. I already won this one. I'm sitting good. I'm going to qualify for the big dog,
Yeah.
But it gives pro teams an opportunity to travel more and compete more so that they can qualify for that Super Cup. No, I think that's amazing for multiple reasons. Like having a $50,000 grand prize, that's kind of cool. That could attract some outside eyes.
Oh yeah.
Our little World Cup check of 12 grand is embarrassing. It's like when when I posted that picture, I'm like, is that for you personally, or is it like for a whole team? It just looks like it's kind of a joke. So to have something like that where we could be fighting for a big pot, would be huge. What'd you think of that, Mikey?
Doesn't it go for divisional teams too? Like they take the top 10 D4 teams, top 10 semi-pro teams, and so on and so forth?
That's right. Yeah, for each division, they have the top 10 of that will go to the Super Cup, is what they're saying. Yeah.
I wasn't sure of that. Was that what it was? I didn't.
Yeah. That's what he was talking about.
Wow. Okay. So for divisional teams too. Interesting.
Yeah. So the top 10 from every facet would go to the Super Cup, and they would all play there to see who's going to be the best.
Are you sure? Because I thought that their whole thing was divisional teams usually only play one national event a year. Like if you're a divisional team, it's rare. It's only a small group that play all of the events. Like I think he was saying 70% of the divisional teams. Maybe it's a way to get. Yeah, maybe it's a way to get them to compete in more of them. I see. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right then. I think you are right. Yeah. I wonder what the prize package was for them. He didn't show us that.
No, he just showed us ours, but I mean, they're going to get, if you make it to the Super Cup in your division, you will get obviously a portion of that as well. I would have to assume. And once again, these are all just
hypothetical things.
But this is kind of the direction that you can expect for things to be moving towards in the future of, the NXL. It's definitely a very real thing that's happening. And so brace, get ready for the change, because it's a coming. And I think it's going to be pretty huge for players. Like you said, Marcella, if you're short, it's like you can chase the dream now. You're not so locked into a rigid set of, we're playing these tournaments. It's like there's 9 tournaments. Essentially, you have
that's right.
Yeah, 3 majors and 6 open events. And of course, not everyone's going to go to all the opens, but the majors, depending on how you do at them, if you win one, then you probably wouldn't have to play anymore. If you want to get more points, you can do different things, but it's just going to add such a different game here, with the whole way.
I just like the idea that they're trying something different. I am curious to see how it affects some of the local regional leagues, though, too. I wonder if you would go to or partner up with some of these divisional series. Like Mike's League is great. They offer a great prize package each event. That's why people play the WC. He offers a better prize package than the pro division almost. Like it's kind of crazy. I remember back I don't know if it still is. What's the prize package for Division 2, Mikey?
I think if you win Premier, you get like $6 grand, and then third or second place is like 3, and then 1,000 for third.
It's lowered a lot. I remember back when he first started the league,
it was 10.
It was 10, which was the exact same as pro at that time.
Yeah.
It was 10.
I feel like it goes up for like the lower divisions. It goes higher. Like maybe Premier's the lowest payout.
Gotcha.
Because he's trying to attract more Division 5 for local players.
Really? Okay.
Oh, wow. So what's the highest division at the WCPPL?
They call it, Division 2. It's called Premier, but it's pretty much like anyone semi-pro and under can play it, and then you can have one pro player under a certain point total.
Yeah. That's such a great thing that Mike's done there, man. And I would, I don't want anything to happen to these guys who've been working so hard to put this thing together. But I think that it could trickle over with having 9 events now, and you can hand pick which ones you want to go to. And I would imagine they're going to have some in California. I mean, obviously.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, talk to me about the WCPPL. What's the energy like at those things? I know both of you guys were just there. It seems like a pretty awesome tournament. I would love to, I haven't been to one in a while, but they seem pretty cool right now.
Oh yeah. It's super competitive. You go out there, every team's like trying their best to win. When I go to the field, when you go out to Battle Zone, all the teams there, they're playing WCPPL. They're practicing as hard as they can the weeks leading up to it, even the off weekends. Mike does a very good job of keeping things competitive, keeping the game fun. He even added in a new bunker for the WCPPL. So he wanted to get it was like a big cube that's like 8 feet tall and like
He didn't have it at this one though.
not at this one, but
no.
at the other two he had it, and he had it
Yeah.
right in the back center. Like you could not get shot out of there. Like he had it tilted the first event, so they had to be all the way on your side to shoot you in the back. The second one, it was flat. So, I mean, you still
Love
got
that.
a lot of space to live, but he's trying to get more of the people that pay the bills in paintball into it. Keep the game fun. Like everyone that plays 10-man, they could go play his league and appreciate it.
Totally. I love that. Yeah, I know. And 10-man, speaking of 10-man, that is just the funnest paintball ever, running around 10 versus 10. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that's why I feel like we're in such a good space. And actually, the only thing that's going to come from the NXL adding more of these regional events to get the divisional teams is the players are going to get a better product.
That's right.
Because everybody has to up their game.
Yeah.
Yes, they're going to play more, but that forces Mike to try to do better. It forces these regional leagues around the country to try to do better. It forces the NXL to provide a better product.
Yeah.
If there's no competition, that's an issue. We know that. Like if there's no competition between brands, companies, leagues, then it's a monopoly, right? And these owners get to do whatever they want. So I think it's great for everything all around. And the stuff Tom was talking to us about was pretty exciting for pros, right? Like pretty exciting to be able to, I just really want to get the date of the Super Cup moved because December and January, I'm not trying to be training that whole time. That's the only time. Like he's like, well, the NFL teams, the Super Bowl's in February. Yeah. Well, they're getting paid millions of dollars to sacrifice holiday time and stuff with their family.
Yeah.
We're not getting that yet. So can we at least let's do Super Cup at the end of November?
I'm with that. Yeah.
Let's do Super Cup at the end of November and we can move the other events back 6 events. I like that. I like that a lot.
Talking about I can't have any cannolis in Christmas. I can't enjoy myself, during New Year's. It's just like
I'm having
no more pasta.
Wine. I'm having wine infused cannolis all of Christmas.
That's right, dude.
So
yeah, if we could have the Super Cup in. And also, if you talk about at the end of November, then you're talking about Thanksgiving. So we have to navigate that.
That's okay. I could deal with Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I've always dealt with Thanksgiving. I've actually more times than not, I'm in Australia during Thanksgiving anyway.
That's right. Yeah.
So sorry about that, but come on, at least give us December. I could sacrifice. Like you could have Thanksgiving, give us December, give us Christmas. Thanksgiving's kind of a weird one anyway, we could dive down that rabbit hole.
Oh, I know. That's a deep one for sure. So we'll see what's going to happen in 21. Should be pretty interesting. Also, they're going to have, from what we heard, breaking news, you're going to have a location change, it sounds like, for the first event of the year as well. You could look to be somewhere that is not Las Vegas at the first tournament. So I'll kind of keep that location a mystery, I guess, for the time being, and let you guys catch that one here when it comes out. But look out for that as well.
I love it. I really love it because it's look, things get stagnant and stale. And when things get stagnant and stale, it's boring. It's old. We talk about it all the time. Like you have to constantly be progressing and on your toes. Right. So it seems like the league is going to do some exciting stuff this off season, and we got to navigate COVID. COVID's still here. It's still a damn thing, and it's going to be. So the league's trying to do their best to navigate around that, be able to provide something for paintball players to go and compete in and provide a better experience so that we can start taking this sport somewhere. And so I'm all on board. Ty, I know you are.
Absolutely.
Mikey, how do you feel about it, man? You on board or what?
Oh yeah. All about it, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's go. And I think you're right, dude, because with COVID and obviously, as we all know right now, as we're listening to this and as we're recording this, COVID is still very much so a thing. We're all feeling the effects of it. Everyone is. And we have to find ways of thank God we play paintball. It's a very safe sport. We can navigate this and play paintball, which is a blessing. And we're so grateful for that. But they're doing a great job of giving us this alternative route with these open events, as they call them, to where you can go play an event that you could probably drive to, hopefully. And then the three major events that they're going to host, those are going to be like the 5 that we had prior. You're going to have the 3 majors, and those will have the big Go Sports production. It'll have everything that you would see at a normal event. Those obviously will be traveling to, but you're going to have 6 open events that you'll be able to navigate and still accumulate points and give your team a great chance to get to that Super Cup that they're going to be having at whatever time they choose to,
I mean, the Super Cup sounds tight.
Yeah, Super Cup.
What?
Let's go.
The World Cup would no longer be like the World Cup. Super Cup would be.
I think we won the last one.
I think we won the last World Cup. Mikey, you won the last World Cup, buddy.
Oh,
way to
did
go.
it.
Now we got to get that Super Cup.
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds tight.
Damn,
dude.
that cup better be huge. That trophy better be a monster.
Yes. Better.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, we can't wait to see what happens. Once again, thank you to everyone out there who's keeping paintball alive. Thank you to all the local teams, all the local fields, all the local stores, all the everything, all the people that are putting their life and time and energy into paintball. We appreciate you. We can't do it without you guys. This is a paintball family, and we got to make sure that it's still growing, and NXL is going to be keeping us on our toes for next year. So we'll see what happens there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So Mikey, let's dive in a little bit. This is your show, man. I want to start talking about how you got into the game. What was that like? What was your first time playing paintball? You know how the show goes. I already know you listen.
Yeah, how'd you get into this crazy game?
I watch every one, dude. You know it.
There we go.
I love it,
PTG
Mikey.
fam. Yeah.
Hey, I have a legit question. This is legit, and I don't want you to answer, untruthfully on the air because you're talking to us. Do you think this show has made you possibly become a better player?
Yeah, because I kind of get to hear how people think. That's why I like watching stuff that's about paintball. Like I like watching this. I like watching the Go Sports interviews because people kind of give away like, oh, this is how I think about the game, and I try to change my thinking on it too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Absolutely.
Right, cool.
There's nothing more powerful than different frameworks of thought, right? I mean, that's how you put the puzzle together. And dude, it's been such a dude. Are you kidding me? We get to talk to everybody. I don't even know how to say it. It's like it's been such a treat. I want to say like I'm so grateful to be able to talk to all these people, talk to you, Mikey, and talk to everyone that we've had on the show because I get to learn so much as well, and it's been amazing.
I honestly, dude, this is going to be a bold statement, but this might be the best thing we've done in paintball time. Like I love that we get this opportunity to share the stories of the greats and have these conversations with our friends, our peers, people that we've looked up to, people that are coming up through the ranks, provide a platform for newer players, the business side. I love it, man. I'm very, very, very grateful. I think like when it's all said and done, this might be our number one thing that we've done. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's no lie. Yep. So once again, it is, bro. It's the deal. And we love it because like right now we're going to dig into your story and I'm going to learn a bunch of things about you that I never knew. And like, I can say that about every single person. I think I know him so well. And then I have him on the show. I'm like, I didn't know shit about that person. This guy, like I learned so many new things about you. So talk to me about how you found paintball. How did you, fall in love with this crazy game and how did you start, getting on the tournament side of everything?
Okay. So, well, I didn't find paintball. My mom found paintball.
There we go. See?
No wonder you still use her email address.
Yeah, dude. I'm a mama's boy. Let me live. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. She watches your shows too. Shout out, mom.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go, mom.
Amazing. Yeah.
I mean, she used to drive out every weekend with you.
Yeah, her and my dad. Yep.
Yeah.
Dude. And we got to see them at World Cup. They were there to watch you win, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that was definitely sweet of them.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, so she found this flyer. It said 8 to 80, and they made a mistake on the flyer. It was actually supposed to say 10 to 100. And it's for a field. Do you know where Surprise is, Tyler?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's out in Surprise.
Surprise?
This old field called Southwest Paintball. Or maybe it was SWAT City. I think they might have changed the name later on, but whatever. So I went out there. Me and my dad were going to go play. We went out there. The guy said, oh, we made a mistake. And then we were about to leave. The guy comes back up to us. Comes up to me. He's like, are you tough? And I'm a little 8-year-old kid. I'm like, yeah, I'm tough. He's like, you're the toughest kid in your class? I'm like, duh, I'm the toughest kid in my class. Is that even a question? He's like, all right, then if you don't think you're going to cry, you can play. I'm like,
Dude,
all right, I ain't going to cry.
yeah.
So I went out
You
there.
cried.
I cried. Hey, but it took 2 games. I might have cried twice, but first game I get shot in the mask. I'm like, this ain't nothing.
Yeah.
I'm going out there again, baby.
And
then the next game, it's me and my dad. We're playing like 2-on-2s, I think. It was a night game. It was real slow at the field.
A night game? Oh, no.
A night game, yeah. Yeah.
This is all making sense now. I get.
Dude, you're scarred.
So we're like playing these buildings. My dad, we find a corner. He's like, all right, I'm gonna look left, you look right. I'm like, okay, I can do this.
Uh-oh.
I'm looking. I'm like, they're both over here. Dad, come help me. He's like, nah, someone's got to come this way. Like, nope, they're both here, Dad. Look over here. He's like, no. So obviously I'm scared. So I just hide right next to him. Yeah. I get shot in the ass. I cry a bunch.
How'd you get shot in the ass? What do you mean? They got behind you?
Yeah, because I just looked the other way with them. I wasn't looking that way. They were there.
So hold on. So your dad had the wrong info and you had all the right info and you were like, fuck it. Dad's right. I'm going with Dad. And then they shot you in the
to me. Yeah. I tried to help him out. He didn't want to help.
Man. That's crazy. So this is great, dude. So that was your first.
I would love to hear Dad's version.
Yeah. I know, huh? But dude, that's so funny. So that was the first experience out there.
That was the first experience. Yep. And
nice,
then the same day, like right after I finished crying, he's like, I didn't spend all this money for you to come out here and cry. So you got to go back out there. So we did it again. Pretty much the same thing happened. And I never wanted to play paintball until I started seeing you guys on TV. That's when I was like, whoa, paintball is sick.
Yeah. Okay. See, this is huge because we thought that the TV thing never did anything. But look, it got Mikey in here and he's a world champion.
That's crazy.
But I would have like all my friends at school. I would tell them like this time it's on ESPN. I had that shit like on lockdown.
Dude, I love
how'd you stay connected with paintball after that experience?
Yeah,
I started seeing it on TV and then I started seeing the magazines. So I would go to Walmart. My mom would go like food shopping and I would just sit and scroll through the magazine at Walmart. There's like 3 of them.
Print magazine is so important, dude.
It is.
All of this stuff, man.
Well, we lost it all in the recession. It all just went. Yeah. It's all gone. But yeah, dude, that was the best when you would go to Barnes and Nobles and you're like, the paintball magazines, you know, and there was just like 6 of them. You had a bunch of options of different magazines you could look at. Now we have nothing. We have we do have a couple, and there is a bunch of online magazines, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. But you know what I was just gonna say? Like that same effect. Instagram, social media, we didn't have that back then either, right? And so now I guarantee you in like 10 years, there's going to be kids who are like, dude, I found Tyler on Instagram and he was so sick. You know, I was like, oh my God, the guy's awesome. I want to be just like him. So
you're right.
We're kind of those old school guys right now that are like, oh, there's no more print magazine. What this is some bullshit. You know, maybe,
if you have like a print magazine, it feels a lot more real. Like, anyone can go on Instagram and post something, get buy a bunch of followers or whatever.
There we go. See,
get a print magazine, you're like, oh, like this is real. Like you go and you hand it to someone and they get the full experience.
For sure, dude. There's a different nostalgia with like going to the Barnes and Nobles and getting the magazine out of there. Yeah, it's different.
Dude, I read a decent amount of books. You know, I'm not crazy, but a decent amount. I refuse to read off of a Kindle or something. I need a real book. You know, there's something about it. The pages, you turn the page, and I just
for sure
gotta have that. You know.
Yep. I agree.
How old were you when you started seeing it on ESPN, Mikey?
On ESPN, maybe like 9, 10-ish.
Oh, so it was shortly after. Like you played and then it wasn't like a big break.
Maybe like 6 months before I started seeing it on TV.
Oh. Okay.
Whoa.
But when you got shot, you were like, no way, buddy. I'm not playing this again.
Oh, yeah.
It hurts too bad.
I was done. I was like, this is not for me. I'm done. My dad was like, all right, you cried twice. You can call it quits now, I guess.
Yeah.
You tried.
Oh, dude. Poor little guy. Poor little Mikey, man. He was not having fun out there. But it is they're going 200 miles an hour. These paintballs are flying at a fast speed. If you're shooting 290 feet per second, it's roughly right around 200 miles an hour. So they're hitting with a thump for sure. They're coming in hot.
And I got shot from like 5 feet away too. So
yeah,
that didn't
for
help.
sure. Bro, when I played my first paintball games, I was 11 years old. I was in this agricultural field. It was after the slaughterhouse.
After the slaughterhouse, I was going to say.
Slaughterhouse,
right.
okay.
After the slaughterhouse, it was at Extreme Paintball. It was a super foggy day out in the middle of the orchards, and I was just crapping myself. I was like, oh, no way. This is like a straight out of a horror movie. I'm going to get pelted to pieces. I can't see anybody. So when you're young and you're playing, it's definitely a very intimidating thing. And it does take a little while to get over that hump. And like, you kind of get used to that sting. You're like, oh, there it is. Okay. All right. There's that sting, and it's not something I didn't get used to it for a little while. Once I got into divisional, then I started getting more used to it. But even when I was playing my like little 3-man tournaments, bro, I was scared out of my mind as a little kid. I was like, I don't want to get bunkered. That sounds terrible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it took me until like 12 or 13 to get over the fear of getting shot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's natural. That's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's human nature to feel that, but that's what makes it exciting as well. And that's kind of the draw,
exactly. That's the adrenaline.
That's the draw right there. That's what hooks people, is that fear in the pit of your stomach. And then you want that feeling again. It's like going on a roller coaster kind of,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but different, because there's real consequences that are based off of your actions.
Yeah.
That's what's so cool about it, is like roller coaster. Yeah, it's super scary, but you're not in control. You don't get to decide, I'll take this path and it's an easier roller coaster, like in paintball, it's that you are in charge. Like you actually have a control on that outcome, but hey, if you mess up, you make that mistake,
you're going for the ride.
You're going to feel it. You're going for the ride, That's such an amazing part of the game. I will say this, when all three of us started, they didn't have 50 cal. It was just one type of
That's
paintball.
True.
Oh,
that's
and,
true. And a lot of very mean people.
And a lot of very mean people. But part of me is like, I feel like that's the way it should be. But honestly, objectively, I think it's great that we have 50 cal, because we can get like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds in there, and they could have fun kind of playing the game without. They're still, those things still kind of hurt, like the little 50 cals, they sting a little bit
for sure,
but it's not quite being 10 years old and getting shot. I'll never forget. I think I was 10, maybe 11. Mm-hmm. And I was playing at a recreational place up in Thousand Oaks, and I got bunkered in the neck by this dude who had a dark angel. And I'll never forget. It was this pewter dark angel, shot me in the neck, and he felt so bad. He let me shoot his gun the rest of the day. Like, he was the nicest dude, but he felt so bad because I was this little kid. I wanted to quit that day. I was like, this is like I freaked out. But you know what though? I didn't want to quit. That never actually, I loved playing so much that like it sucked. It always sucked getting shot, but I actually didn't ever want to quit. I was like, I gotta not get shot.
It's like when you say you're gonna leave, someone that you're like, I'm leaving, I'm never coming back, but deep down you're like, I love you. I'm never leaving.
It happens like exactly. Not leaving. No way. Stuck in it for the long haul.
Yeah, dude. The the relationships. That was a good one. You like that, Mikey? I think that was a good one.
That was a good. I love it.
So it's like it's just the most thrilling sport there is. Like I said, I've played every sport there is. I'm a true athlete. I just love sports. I love all sports. I love extreme sports. I love traditional sports. I love sports, and nothing does what paintball does for me. Like first of all, it's harder than you could ever imagine to play paintball. Like people,
did you leave your phone on? Just for the listeners, come on.
The Yelp.
They got you.
They got me. So it's just an amazing thrill, dude, and there's nothing quite like it. It's the hardest thing like athletically, you have to be super athletically sound, mentally very challenging. It's like you're juggling out there with all the different things that you have to do. So it's just man, it's a special thing that we're so fortunate to be at the forefront of and be able to help gain steam, because I think it can bring so much value to people's lives as well. It teaches you so much about life. It's Oliver would always say that God loves paintball. You know, he would always say that. He's like, it teaches you morality. It gives you just a path to walk with other people that teaches you great things about how to be a good person. Like really,
So true.
Communication, teamwork, being open-minded, trust. Yeah, there's so many different layers to what this game provides. It's truly spectacular what we get to do here, man. So grateful for the G2, BKI, HK, Field One, all these companies, you know, like that are boosting paintball and taking it to the next frontiers. That's what it's all about, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, dude. All love for paintball worldwide.
Absolutely.
All right, let's dig
Mikey,
back in.
Yeah, Mikey, where was we after? Okay, so you saw us on ESPN.
Yep.
What happened after that? You told Dad, hey, I want to try it again. I want to go get shot again.
Nah, my dad, he was against it, but I talked my mom into it. She bought me this little pump gun from Walmart.
Damn.
Was it a Stingray?
A Stingray? It was the one that's the clear and like grayish plastic.
Yeah,
Is
dude,
that
that's a Stingray. That was my first gun from Walmart. $25.
Yeah, $25
at Walmart.
Little
I talked my
CO2?
mom into it too. Yeah, dude. Stingray, 100%.
Dude, the Stingray voice. Look at you guys.
It was a Brass Eagle Stingray.
Brass Eagle.
Yeah. That was my first jersey. My first jersey was a Brass Eagle jersey.
Okay.
Tight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you brought it out not so long
That's
ago.
right. That's right. Yeah. That's with Victor's stash now. He's got that.
Oh.
Yeah, of course he does. Damn it, Vic.
Got all the dope ones.
Yep, he does, dude.
So I talked her into buying me this pump gun. Me and my next door neighbor would hang out. He was like a year younger than me. We only had one gun and one mask, so we would each take turns. My mom's backyard's like 50 feet by 20 feet. One of us would stand on one side. The other one would have to run in between these trash cans we set up.
Whoa, dude.
And we would just take turns shooting each other. But it was like the most intense experience if you're the guy running.
Yeah. And if you're shooting, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
If you're the shooter, you're like, it was hard to shoot him. Like, we missed a lot.
Yeah.
But that time you got shot, that time fucking sucked.
So tell me, how far were you away from the guy who was
50 feet?
Oh, yeah, less than 50 feet, because that's like brick wall to brick wall in my parents' backyard.
Oh, boy.
Oh, we were pretty close.
Oh, boy.
That's awesome, dude. I love that. Okay, so you hated it, you got shot, now you're in the backyard pelting each other from 50 feet away and learning how much it hurts and getting used to it. I like this. We're on our way here. Dude. This is great.
We're on our way.
So slowly, I talked my mom into getting me a different gun. Then my dad takes me out to this field called 23. When the tournament was at the Cardinal Stadium, like all the pros went to practice there. I got to watch that. That was pretty sweet.
Dope. We were there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a second. You just jumped forward a lot.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you just jumped forward a lot because that's 2009.
It was like 2008. But
okay, we gotta go back.
I think that Mikey just messed around for quite a while, though. Is that right?
Yeah,
like,
I pretty much just played rec ball. Like, I'd go out to this field once every couple months and play, and then me and my friends set up a field in my parents' backyard with like trampolines, garbage can.
There we go. See, there we go. Those are the stories, dude. Those are the stories right there.
So
trampoline. Okay, all right. I see.
So how many years did you do that where you just were kind of just playing and of course you still play just for the fun of it because you love it, but you've taken it to the next level. But before you really got serious into tournament paintball, and what year was that you got serious into tournament paintball?
Well, I played like local like young guns tournaments, but I don't really like consider that like me being serious. It was still just like me and kids from my school playing in my backyard. Then we would play these tournaments, get smashed on by A-Rod would play him. He was on and he would shit on us all the time.
Oh no.
This was all after the Phoenix event though.
No, this is all prior to the Phoenix event. This is like 2007. I was like maybe 11 and 12, 13.
Gotcha.
And then I got on my first D4 team around 13, 14-ish. And then once I hit 14, I got on a field team. Have you guys ever heard of Fort Adobe Paintball?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You went out there with
Yeah,
Russian Legion, right?
Yeah, I did a clinic out there too with Mouse.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you were 14 when you started really starting to take it serious.
Yeah, when I turned 14, I was like, this is like what I want to do. I saw you guys.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be like one of these guys. I want to play pro like them. I want to win tournaments. I want to get the full experience.
And that was about 08, 09, somewhere in there.
14, like 2010-ish.
2010. Okay. And then so 2010 is when you started that type of experience and that journey. And for how many years did you just play paintball for fun? Just, kind of just going out to the field? Obviously you loved it and you were still learning and doing all that, but you were just having a good time. How many years did you do that for?
Maybe like from 9 to 14, just playing for fun, just going out to the field.
Awesome.
I mean, I would go out to the field and I would just watch. Like, Sundays were like the big days when teams would play, and I didn't have a team, so I'd just go out there and watch people play. And like, they got all the new gear. I didn't grow up like the most fortunate home, so I wanted to go see like, oh, this is like the newest gun that came out. Like, I would go and like see the guy who got the newest gun and be like, oh, that's sick. Can I shoot your gun?
Yeah.
And I think that was like the funnest experience for me.
Yeah, dude, that's so cool, man. And it is an expensive sport, dude. And that there's something to be said about that. And the fact that you've never given up, except for the first couple times when you first started. That was about it. And then and then once you started taking it serious, you've never given up. And you can sit here on the show with us now as a World Cup champion. That's a pretty spectacular thing to have accomplished, man. And it's all from those moments, man. That real love of the game that you're talking about right here. That's pretty special, dude, that you would just show up and you're like a paintball grom. I was the paintball grom too. I would just show up and just be there. Or I worked at the paintball store, it's anything that I could do to be around paintball. Even though I might not have had everything like you're talking about, you're still around it. You're still able to be a part of that community. And it's such an amazing community to be a part of. What kind of sacrifices have you made to pursue this dream? Like, I'm sure you weren't always able to afford the best things, or maybe you were, I don't know, but what kind of sacrifices have you had to make? What did you do to make sure that you could continue to always play paintball?
Well, in the beginning, I didn't really view it as sacrifices. I just viewed it as like, this is what I got to do to get to where I want to be. And I wasn't really into anything other than paintball. Like, all I wanted to do was play paintball, be around people that were good at paintball, get better. Like, that was my main focus. Yeah. And then as I got older, I got into like going out and like meeting people, girls, whatever, normal stuff.
Yep.
But that's right. I don't know. When I got on the field team, the deal was to play on the team. You would get free entry if you tore down the field and set it up the next day.
That's right.
So I would go there super early, like 6.
They were ripping you off.
Yeah, it's whatever. It worked out for me.
It is though. It does. Yeah, 100%. I'm just kidding. As a young kid, like, yeah, that's but now you get paid a lot of money to take down and set up a field.
Yeah. I mean, my mom was the one who really suffered. Like, it would just be me and my friends like hanging out, like slowly taking down the field, and she would be in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like, oh, when are these kids gonna be done?
Dude, you have the best mom.
Shout out to moms. Yeah.
Don't you ever change your damn email either. You better keep that thing forever. All right.
True.
That's respect right there. I love that. Yeah, dude, I love that too. Cause you're right. I mean, I would go around and be like, if someone had a broken bag of paint, or if there was some extra paint, this, that, and the other, or if you could work at the field to pay for the time that you're out there for the entry, or things like that, are definitely things that I think that if you can't afford paintball, are definitely great avenues to keep you on the field, keep you out there at the field, and also just keeps you out of trouble just being at the paintball field.
Oh yeah,
it's a good atmosphere. Yeah, which is another huge thing. There's a lot of wild stuff out there, and it's it's a slippery slope. There's a lot of slippery slopes that you could slide into without even realizing it. So paintball can keep you on a good path too.
Yeah, you just got to be careful who you choose at paintball.
Yeah.
All choices.
Yeah, because there's bad avenues within the sport as well,
Everywhere,
just
yeah.
like anything. But
That's right.
if you have the focus, you can kind of easily weed out those bad avenues.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, I was at the paintball store almost every single day during the week. Helping with whatever I could, probably being more annoying than helping. I was 13 years old. But I loved being at the paintball field. I remember when I was like 14, I got a little GoPed. And so I would be able to drive myself down to the paintball store,
How far was
I'd
the
show
field
on my
from here?
GoPed. Sorry, not the field, the store.
Or the store?
The store. The store was, I mean, back then it seemed like so far, but probably like 5 miles, 10 miles, maybe. Like I would push it. I felt like on a GoPed, it was a good trek. It was like a 45-minute GoPed ride.
Dude.
Yeah, it was like a 45. I would bring a little tank of gas, so I had like my own little. I had this whole setup because you had to mix. I forgot what it was, but with GoPeds you had to get gasoline, but you had to mix it with some kind of oil. Yeah. And so like I would have like the mixture. I'd have everything, dude. It was
dedicated.
Dedicated. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it was fun. I felt like an adult.
Yeah. Like I'm going to the store. Be back.
I'm going to work, Mom.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's great,
Good
man.
time.
Yeah, I had a GoPed too. Broke my arm riding that thing. That was a bad decision.
Oh no.
That's a funny story. I'll tell you that another time. But yeah, so you're in 2010 now is where we're at with your story, and you're starting to get serious about making this a path that you want to really take serious. So what was the next step in this lineage here?
Okay, so in 2010 I played for Adobe Factory.
Mhm.
Actually, Brandon Unger played on my team too.
No way. Awesome.
Yeah, we played like maybe off and on like 2 years together.
Yeah, Unger's up and coming too. He's a great paintball player.
He lives out in Arizona too.
Yep. Shout out to the Zonies.
Zony.
Yeah.
But I saw Scottsdale Elevation. They played pro and 7-man, if you want to call it pro, USBL, whatever you want to call it.
That's right.
But in my mind, they were pros.
Mm-hmm.
So they would come out to the field. They didn't play very often, maybe one weekend before each event they played. So it was hard to really connect with them or get help from them. So I really never had anyone show me how to play paintball or like tell me what's right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
To jump ahead, like that's why like I try to like really listen to what you guys say and like take that in and take it all into consideration.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And so, you do a great job.
Yeah, you do.
Because there's a lot of players that don't they just don't for some reason have the ears like you do to really pick up info and apply it. It's one thing for it to hit the eardrum, but the application of it is a whole nother step, and really taking it to heart and doing it, which you've done a really good job of.
But that's a different thing, right, Ty? Like that's an ego thing for one. And it's also, if you're truly on a genuine quest to be the best that you can be, you're open to listening, right? Mikey's always been that way from the first time I met him, and a lot of players aren't. They want to be pro or be good for the wrong reason. Maybe they want the recognition. So if they're doing it because they want the recognition, then once they get to a certain point where they think they're good enough, they don't want to listen anymore. They don't want to hear anymore because they just want to showcase. They just want accolades. They just want a pat on the back, But if your true quest is to just continue to get better, you're always going to be open to listening to your peers, to the ones around you that might be a little wiser, maybe have done it a little longer, or even the newer players that are coming into the league,
Yeah.
So,
and it's simple.
That's
it's
simple.
not, it's not complicated. Just stop talking and really listen, and have gratitude too. Cause like, I think it's kind of weird when you tell me yes, sir, or whatever, but you say that. And I'm like, wow, that's tight. He's really,
I love it.
He's serious. You know what I mean? Like, and I appreciate it because it shows that you're genuine and you're really genuinely invested in like, learning, which is not to be said about everybody, and is also probably a reason why you're on the team, because it's a hard thing to find that quality of someone who will actually be receptive to information. And like you said, Marcelo, you got to get out of your own way. You got to kill that ego in order to receive and grow and do all that. But it's a big thing. And that's probably why you've been able to have the success, is because of that gear that I'm sure your mother and father instilled in you, being respectful and really valuing what people have to say, which is pretty cool, man. So I appreciate that. Yeah.
Thanks, Todd.
Sorry to cut you off on your story there.
So I played with that D4 team.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get on elevation.
Mm-hmm.
There was this team that went from Division 3 to Division 2 called Hellcats. They weren't a very good team, but I just saw it as, okay, this is the way I could move forward out of Division 4. If I want to play like pro or something, I need to get out of Division 4 and play with better people. So I got on Hellcats when I was, I think, right before I turned 15. And then randomly one weekend, they just happened to be playing elevation.
Oh, wow.
So we played elevation. I felt like I had a pretty good weekend. Fast forward a little bit more into that year, like 2010. Yeah. Fast forward into the tail end of that year, I met Augie Roscoe from elevation.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a crazy story. So I reffed an AZPPL. It's kind of like WCPPL, but for Arizona at the time.
Yeah.
This guy would fly in all these pros. Chris Lasoya played it. A-Rod wasn't pro at the time, but he was on their team. Dusty Odell.
I came out and played one of those, I think, in AZPPL.
Did you?
Did Jerry help run that at some point?
No, I think Jerry did the ADPL, Arizona Developmental League.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
But-
never mind. All right.
So they had this tournament at the end of the year. I didn't have a team, so I ended up reffing it, and they had a premier division. So Elevation played it. The team was called ABC 123, real original name. And they were in the finals together. And I'm not sure exactly how or what the circumstances were to make this event happen or make this situation happen. But Augie ended up tanking a guy in the face.
Ooh.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Tanked Dusty Odell. And I was like, that's when I was like,
Dusty.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's when I was like, okay, paintball is like, yup, I need to keep coming out to the field. Like that was another reason I got into it. Not just because it was violent, but I saw like the passion like people had.
Yeah.
Guys, don't do that. We do not advocate this. This is not good. Don't do that. That's not a good thing.
But I think what he's trying to say is there's a lot of passion out there.
There's a lot of passion, a lot of grit, a lot of grime. Absolutely.
For sure, dude.
People are really invested into what they're doing.
Yeah.
When people are kind of like, oh, like they brush things off. I think they're kind of like neutral about what they're doing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I agree with that.
When you're all in, like that's something I can get behind.
That's no lie. Dude, I hope that Odell boy is okay, dude. Oh my God.
Oh, I guarantee you Dusty was fine after that though. Dusty's my goodness.
Oh,
like a
no
brick
way,
house.
dude. His chin was
dude.
like split open right here. Dude looked like he wanted to cry.
Oh man.
But was he crying? Guarantee he wasn't.
I don't know,
Dusty
dude.
Odell, you must not know Dusty.
I put my money on Augie any day, baby.
Oh, you're crazy. You are crazy. That boy from Texas will slap that Arizona dude up.
No way, dude. I put my money on the Bash Bros.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's a whole nother conversation.
Talk about the Bash Bros, Dusty and Devin against Augie and whoever. Those are the Odell brothers. I'm putting my money on those two.
All right.
They will barbecue ass like some ribs.
Yeah. Pass me some pass.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, my boy Augie won, but here's what it is.
Okay, all right.
Holy moly.
We need some better officiating. Obviously, the refs were the problem that month.
Oh man. So
Anyways.
so that was what kind of was like, whoa, this is serious business. People are getting lit out here.
Yeah, so that kept me more invested. And then I kind of got to
I
talk
love
to like the guys on elevation after that because I had a reason to talk to them. I was like,
Yeah.
well, like why'd this happen?
Yeah.
And then I saw them at the field and I slowly like tried to like mingle into their group.
Yep.
Obviously terrible social skills, so mingling didn't work that well.
Yep.
But
That's all right. You're learning, dude. You're there. You're almost there.
But so fast forward, I played with Hellcats 2011, played with Fat Factory. We played 7-man 2.
Wow.
I only played like Huntington Beach and Galveston the first 2 events, and then I started playing WCs.
Dude, how amazing was Huntington Beach back in the day?
Oh, I just got the tail end of it, but that was a sick event.
Yeah, man. Unreal. I hope someday we can get back out on that beach. That's unreal, that tournament.
Yeah.
It'll never happen.
If anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be HK with their 7-man with Pro Tour.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's no joke.
I
Definitely.
could see that happening.
And it's funny, Scottsdale Elevation, they just won first place and the series title at WCPPL for their, I think, Division 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to Manning.
Yep. Good for them.
It's the same team that was playing pro a couple of years ago, right?
Not the same guys.
Okay,
Killer.
That's rude, Marcelo. That's rude.
I see you throwing shots. I see you there. I see you.
I'm just kidding.
But hey, what I do want to say is that those guys, they show up to the G2 trainings out here and they have been working their asses off. And so huge congratulations to them for all that hard work and for coming out and working with us at G2.
Yeah.
The D5 team?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that. Hell yeah. There we go.
Vic puts them through the ringer out there. He gives them concrete pods to run with. He makes sure they're running
joke,
hard.
Man.
Yeah.
Vic's no joke. I don't want to give that man a whistle and a clipboard ever.
He turns into a monster.
Yeah, he turns evil. I'll never forget. I came out to Arizona in 2012 to do a clinic. Actually, maybe it was 2014 to do a clinic for his old team, AZ Elite. Yeah. And we woke up at 4 a.m. At the field. It was dark, and I'm sitting in the car just waiting, for my turn because he does his whole thing in the morning. Yeah. It's freezing, but he just rips them, dude. I was like, oh my God, this guy's insane. It was like an hour and a half of just in town. I'm like, wait, now you want me to go do a clinic for them? Like they're going to die. They're going to die. I don't think they're going to make it. If they did though.
And that's what we've been doing with the G2 is exactly. Like doing these crazy workouts. And then Victor, he's been getting involved, yelling at us, and it's fun, cause we give him shit. He gives us shit. It's a good time. But it's just cool to see also Victor's story, throughout this whole thing. Now he's my neighbor. Arizona Paintball's on the rise. And we're actually, just to put a little plug in here, we're going to have a combine out here in Arizona. So if you can make the drive or travel, that would be January 30, 31st. We're having a combine.
It is the paintball combine that is usually done in Florida. We've partnered with G2. Yep. It's going to be done out in Arizona, which is pretty big news. Really awesome.
You're doing two, right? There's one still in Boston. Is that correct? And then there's also one.
Yeah. So there's always the one in Boston is not quite like the Florida combine. It's more of a smaller clinic. It's kind of a novelty event.
That's what we did.
Really fun. That's what we did. Yes. They've been doing that. I think this is their 16th year. Wow. Which is amazing. But the national combine is the one that's done in Florida. That is going to be held in Arizona now, which is awesome. Really good opportunity for everybody on the West Coast. Totally. All the young players to come out and showcase what they got. Yeah. Look, a lot of people have kind of laughed at the program over the years, but it's becoming we're coming to a point to where the proof is in the pudding. That's players are turning pro. We are truly finding the players out there that deserve to earn a pro spot, and they've gone out and taken them. So, shout out to the combine, shout out to BKI, shout out to G2, everyone that is giving these players these opportunities. It's pretty spectacular.
It is, man. It's so cool to see. So be on the lookout for that out here in Arizona, January 30th and the 31st. We're going to have the BKI and G2 collab. It's going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be amazing.
All right, dude. My bad. We got to dive back into this guy here.
Yeah.
2003. Okay, so you witness a UFC fight on the field and decide you want to play paintball.
Well, that was just another reason to play paintball.
Yeah. Okay.
Added layers.
Got it. Got it.
Well, you're a natural. You love fighting, like you do boxing, all that kind of stuff. So you got that mindset. You know what I mean?
I just like the intensity and passion people have.
Yeah, of course. And you're
high risk. You know.
Yeah,
there's a lot of consequences for making a mistake in fighting.
And honestly, like I assimilate paintball to it. Even your posture when you're holding your paintball marker and when you switch stances, it's almost like going in a boxing stance, And when you gunfight,
well, it's a gunfight.
It's a gunfight,
right? Exactly. It's a gunfight. It's a type of fighting, right?
Your paintball gun is.
I'm with you, Ty. I love that. I do appreciate that analogy. Yeah. Coming from like a martial arts background, I love that analogy. I've always assimilated, put my martial arts training like with paintball. I think they really are. They go hand in hand.
I agree.
And 100%.
I think that if you're in martial arts or in some type of fighting aspect, and you play paintball, you're going to be pretty damn good at paintball, because it's a lot of the same thought processing too on when to throw a punch, when to snap shoot, when to bob and weave, when to duck, when to do this move, you know?
Well, you want to know something funny? And again, I'm sorry for the listeners. I know I've been talking a lot, Tyler, too. This is Mikey's show, but
yeah, I know.
I do love it. But I got to throw this in there. It's funny you say that, Ty, because I remember when A-Rod first got on the Ironman. Well, he got on the Ironman before I was on the team. 2011, maybe
2012.
Maybe
played.
even 2012 he played. Was that his first year? Okay, maybe it was. And then I got on the team in 2013. And A-Rod was just always throwing the right hook.
Yeah.
You know, just the right bomb, just boom, big hits. And I remember we were at a practice up north at Impact, and I pulled him aside and I was like, look, the moment that you learn how to incorporate the left jab with your right hook, you're going to be a deadly player, because they are synergistic. Like, it's the same. Yes, fighting, it's so similar. You got to know, you just throw a couple jabs, you set up the right hook. You know, you can't always be throwing this right hook bomb. You know, he was always trying to make the big move up the center. And I was like, look, sometimes I just need you to sit here and shoot, you know, and then you wait. And then that opportunity for that big move is going to open up. You know, there's a lot of similarities with fighting and paintball. 100%.
Do you feel that same way, Mikey?
Oh yeah, 100%. And the way like your mentality is, you have to be mentally deep enough. When shit starts going wrong, or you have to be able to turn that around.
Yeah.
Same in fighting, same in paintball.
Totally. Yeah.
Oh man, you're so right. Wow.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty interesting when you start to put it all together, how close they fall together with the mentality and then the physicality as well. All right. So now we're in 2013 with Mike's story, and you're with Elevation at this time. Is that right?
Yeah. So 2012, we played Division II. We did pretty good. I think we were like second in the series. We won an event. That was the only other national event I won. So
there we go. Big W. Let them know.
Wait, is WC considered a national event?
No, I was playing PSP. We were playing.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said WC. Okay, I misheard.
Oh, no. We played PSP 2012 with Elevation. Gotcha. We were playing like Reba at the time. They were still Division II. Then
this was their pro team?
Yeah.
This is their now pro team? Okay.
Yeah, Omara, Stents.
Oh, wow.
Played on the team. I think those are only two left. But they were on the team. Then 2013, we moved up to Division I. I really didn't like the direction the team was going. We just weren't practicing as much as I thought we should have. Mm-hmm. I was only like 17 at the time. So I ended up quitting the team after the first event. So I quit the team, and I graduated high school early. So I had a year where all my friends were still in school, and I was going to this community college. So I had a lot of free time on my hands. So I tried skateboarding. Yeah. So right after I quit the team, I was skateboarding and I broke my hand. Oof. So that took me out of paintball for a while, but it gave me some time to reflect on like what I wanted to get out of paintball and what I needed to put in to get to where I wanted to be. So that's when I came to the realization I need to get out of Arizona. There's no one that's really going to push me or anyone that's really going to go pro. At least at that time, there was maybe it was hard to even get 5-on-5s in like 2013 at the local fields. It was paintball was pretty dead in Arizona.
Dude, it's huge right now. I feel like there's a ton of paintball players out here.
Oh yeah, paintball is booming right now. Rafi at Battlezone did a really good job. At Fort Adobe, they were doing a really good job towards the tail end of getting people into paintball, getting rec ballers into playing paintball. Yeah. So 2013, at the end of it, I tried out for Los Angeles Collision. Mm-hmm. Played with them for 2 or 3 events into 2014. And then Marcelo and Mouse were doing a clinic in Arizona. And I thought it was a good way for me to like mingle with them and at least ask for an opportunity to go try out for a pro team. Yeah. So that's when I got to meet Marcelo. I went and I tried out before Chicago, or try out, practice, whatever. In my mind, I thought I was trying out, but didn't end up making it. But I just kept going out. Maybe it could have been to my detriment because I wasn't playing a lot. Maybe I could have used my time wiser. I don't know.
No, you know what, Mikey? I got to say it wasn't to your detriment, because here's something that does. I know it seems like we're so far removed from that moment in time, but that has always stood out, that you have just always been chopping at the bit. And it wasn't like, oh, he's not good enough, we're never going to pick him up. It was literally the conversation where he's just not ready yet. You just weren't ready yet. But it was like, you're driving out from Arizona every weekend to try to be here. That's somebody I want on our team. You just need to get ready. Like that's a mentality that I want as a teammate. 10 out of 10 times. So that's what that did, to where when these conversations finally came back around years later, and now we're sitting where we're at now, it's like, well, that dude works his ass off. He's going to commit, and he's willing to do whatever it takes. And he's ready now. Okay. Now we're talking about a whole different ball game.
Right.
If you weren't that player, do you know how many players come to us and they say they want to be pro, they want to come try out for a dynasty, and like, okay, prove it.
You never see him.
You never see him. We're not going to beg you. We're not going to pay you to fly out. Like, prove it. You proved it for years, and to your detriment, I think not.
No,
absolutely. Like,
no,
those moments, you were showcasing your character, your mental fortitude, your ability to continue on the path to pursue what we were all trying to do, which was be the best at something. So no, like it might have felt that way. And maybe you did miss out on a little bit of experience from playing in other, I don't know, but overall that is a net positive for sure.
Yeah, because I can groom you once you get to, once it's the hard part is seeing that you have that gear to go deep, to be a hard worker, because a lot of people are going to quit when it gets tough and they're not going to, give you everything they got. But when you see a guy who's so devoted to, and kind of to their own detriment, to where you're like, almost, I'll bet you're asking yourself, why am I doing this? What am I doing? Like it gets so hard and you're like, what am I even doing? But you never gave up and you continued to fight. And that holds so much water, it holds so much weight and value, to where, like Marcelo said, when we look at you 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, or whenever it may be, and we see you at that time, then we're like, okay, here we go. Now we can groom him. Now we can take him to where he needs to be. He's put in the time and he's dedicated himself to the craft, and he's shown that he's not going to quit ever. And that's what we need, is someone that will never quit. And then we can teach you all the tricks. We can, that's the easy part. We need you to be a hard ass worker, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a long time, but that's where the magic's at. And that's how you build great organizations, is having people that never quit, man. You got to have that gear. So you obviously, we're having some questionable thoughts. You're like, why am I even doing this? And keep taking me through it.
All right. So I tried out for whatever until the end of the year. And then at the end of the year, I was like, well, I guess I didn't make it. So I talked to Collision again. They're like, yeah, we can put you on the Division II team, but they had a semi-pro team at the time. So I was like, okay, like this is a big step backwards. Going from potentially playing on a pro team to back to Division II now.
That's all right.
Then I think I was still bugging you, Marcelo, like, hey, can I try out in the beginning of the year? Can I try out in the beginning of the year? And then I remember you gave me a phone call. I forgot what I was doing, but it stuck out in my mind. You're like, this is your opportunity. Like, you need to take advantage of this. And I just shit the bed at the practice before Dallas. I feel like I had a rough first day, but the second day I really picked it up. But I didn't end up making it. I ended up playing Dallas with Collision. And then around that time I was finishing up. I only went for an associate's degree in college. So I was finishing up college. I needed to get like my career right. So I took like some time off, but I was playing every now and then, but not as serious. And Elevation wasn't a team at the time either. They all disbanded. They all took off time. So I started working a lot. I started traveling for work, whatever. Then flash forward to 2015. Hal calls me and Ryan Bosch, and they're like, hey, we want to get the band back together. We want to play WCPPL. Great league, Mike.
Yep. Shout out to Hinman.
Yep. So we played WCPPL. I didn't have like the financial stability yet to do that. So I really appreciated them helping me out with that.
Yeah.
We played WC, and then we played at the end of that year. They're like, we want to commit to a whole year of semi-pro X-ball and then XL. And I was still like trying to figure out where I fit in at work too, and trying to like, when you're the bottom man at where I work, you don't get any days off. You get all the shitty stuff to do. So it's kind of tough to get time off for paintball.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to get time off for Vegas, and I think the third or fourth event that year, I played with them. The first event was real rough. We lost every game, and then I think the second or third event they played, they ended up taking third in semi-pro, which is real big for like a team from Arizona. Like, we don't have anyone to practice. We don't have financial support. It's like all us. And
That's awesome.
us was like 7 guys. So for us to do that, that was big in our mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they did that. Then I played that event with them. We did all right. The next year, kind of the same thing. I still trying to figure out where I fit in at work. Played Chicago with them. We did relatively decent. This is 2017. And then the whole year they've been doing steadily getting better in semi-pro. And then we get the option to bump up to pro in 2018, and it just happened to line up perfectly when I earned like my seniority at work is when paintball kind of fit into my life. Wow. And we went pro, and that's when I started. I would still take it serious before every event, but this is when I was like, okay, like now I can get back into like the whole year. I had to miss one event because of work, but after that one event I missed, I put in my mind, I'm never missing the event again for paintball. Like, it's not work. I can go find a new job. It's not worth it to me.
Mm-hmm. Dude. So talk to me about juggling.
I love you, Mikey, dude. You're the fucking man. Sorry, Ty. You're the man, Mikey.
Seriously. Some grit right there. Talk to me about juggling, the work in paintball and how you navigated that. What were some of the terrible stories, or whatever from having to juggle that?
Well, when I started working for this guy. His name's Benny Benachek.
Yeah, Mr. Check.
Yeah, he hated paintball at first. Hated it. Yeah. But I slowly like planted the seed in his mind. And once I went pro, I started showing him the videos. And I would show him videos of like all the other pros before I went pro. Like,
yeah, you brainwashed him. Good job, dude.
Yeah. And now he's like, oh, you're going to a paintball tournament? Cool. Like, send me the link. I'll check out like a match of yours. Let me know what time you're playing.
Tight. Dope.
So
Love
now
that.
He's like invested.
Well, how about now that you're a world champ? Is he stoked on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty stoked. I gave him like one of my jerseys. He's like,
wow.
Oh. He's like, oh, what can I sell this for? I'm like, yeah, I can't sell it for nothing.
Yeah, right, Mikey. You're a world champ now, baby. Those jerseys are in demand.
You gave him $200 right there, bud.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it was definitely hard, like trying to like tell people about paintball and to get the time off work. They don't really understand it. They don't understand, oh, you need this weekend off, like normal day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty commonplace in our line of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, foosball, what are you doing? Oh, you're like, oh, yeah. We're gonna... But then you talk to people, they know, what paintball is, and then you kind of have to give them the whole bit about, it's on turf or it's on grass and it's like a symmetrical field and we're not in the woods, that whole thing.
Yeah, once you show it to them and show them it's like a real thing, not like me and my buddies are going to go like get fucked up and go shoot paintballs at each other. Like,
exactly.
No, like this is. Yeah. So I travel for work, and he would see me outside of the hotel. Like me and my buddy Tim, he started working with me. He plays paintball too, not pro or anything. He plays like Division III. But me and him, we'd go run like in the parking lot, or we'd like go watch paintball videos after work. And
there we go.
He'd hear about it, or he'd see us running, and he'd be like, "Oh, like, okay,
training.
Like you gotta work hard for this. Like this is not just like something that you're just naturally good at it. No, it's something you work towards."
Yeah,
dude. Real quick, I want to tie that into what you said about you might have been wasting time back in 2014. And it's funny because it's even what you said you prefer to do, but you've just let your actions speak for you, man. You were on this pursuit of a professional paintball career and your boss didn't understand it. And instead of trying to talk him into it, you were just out there working your butt off after work, and he saw it. You showed him, holy shit, like, wow, this guy, he just got off of a 12-hour shift and he's doing sprints uphill with our other guy. Okay, maybe that's real.
Yeah.
That's tight, Mikey. That's really tight. That's actually been kind of your theme throughout all of it. If you follow this story like the listeners have been, but it's the same thing in 2014, man. And you just kept showing up, and you were proving with your actions instead of your words. You weren't just nagging, saying, "Come on, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to do that." You were just showing us. You were showing your boss. You've showed people, right?
Well, that's because
powerful.
Dude, Mikey's about that action, boss. I'm telling you. He's
like, he don't want it in a gunfight, though. I'll let you know that. He tried to speak up and challenge me one time.
I'll get you.
He tried to speak up
right before event one, baby.
He tried to speak up.
I'm coming for that. That was a year ago, bro. That was a year ago. New man,
that
new
was
me.
A year ago. You're right. You're right. Okay, there we go. This is the world champ version.
Yeah, bro.
This is World Cup, Mikey.
I might cheat you 1 out of 10 times now.
Listen, world champ Mikey's a whole different beast. I can't wait to see what you're gonna do this year, brother.
Yeah. Well, let's just keep working hard and enjoying it. That's it, dude.
Totally.
That's what it comes down to.
Okay, so your boss now is finally like, all right, you know what? This is kind of real. You're getting a little more leeway. You're playing pro with Elevation. How's that going? What's it like being on a team like that in the pro division?
Okay, so going into it, pro paintball was nothing like I expected. So the reality of being on like Elevation, I mean, I don't want to speak for these other teams, but I would assume it's the same, like Boom, TMG, lower level teams.
Right.
Nothing's paid for. We pay for everything out of pocket. Events were costing me like $3,000, including practices. So it was a big financial burden to play.
Whoa.
But
so let that be known right now.
Yep.
This man was paying $3,000 out of his pocket and playing professional paintball and not whining about it. You know, because he wanted it more than anything. And dude, now it just all makes sense with your story, dude. To be, you know, a part of the most winningest organization in the history of the game. And it's because, dude, you got the work ethic. There's just nobody that matches that work ethic.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So it was extremely expensive to play. No teams wanted to practice us. Like, I've heard you guys on your podcast, not to like contradict you guys, but the reality is, if you're a low level team like that, it's hard to get teams to practice. Like, we would have to play against semi-pro teams.
You have to make the situation really good for the pro team. Like, we've definitely told.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. You have to make the situation really good. Like, we're going to bring in another good team, right? So it'll be a 3-way practice is probably the best way for those lower divisional teams to do it, is get in on a 3-way practice. And you maybe sacrifice some of the points, but at least you're getting a better look. You know, like we've done it a lot actually with semi-pro teams. We'll do like us, Houston Heat, and maybe Mutiny, you know. As long as there's another team, we're open to that. And I think a lot of teams are, but it is, you're right, Mikey. It's hard to set up 2 weekends before an event, just a direct practice, unless you have like a pristine field and you do have the money and you're helping pay for hotels or something, you know?
Like, that's what we noticed. Like, we hit up other teams and they're like, well, maybe if you like pay for our hotel, we sleep 2 guys to a room. And we're like, well, we don't even sleep 2 guys to a room. So you're shit out of luck there. But financially, if you're not like on a financially stable team, I personally think you'll never be successful in the pro division. Because
it's an uphill battle, man.
You need
sorry, go ahead.
You need to have someone with experience like that's been there and done that. But if you can't, like in 2019, we needed someone like that, but we just didn't have. We couldn't
on DMG. You're saying
in 2019, I was playing on Elevation for the first 2 years or first 2 events. I left halfway through the year.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. Gotcha.
So we had like an open tryout. We lost 4 out of 7 guys in between 2018 and 2019. So we had a lot to like fill in. We had an open tryout. We tried to get like pro players who didn't have a team for whatever reason or didn't play pro for a couple years to come out, but no one wants to come out when you have to shell out all this money to play. They want at least a free ride. And if you can't offer that, you might as well like go back down to semi-pro.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Takes money to make money.
Yeah. And then
there is only a handful of teams in the pros that, that have that kind of capability even, you know?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the organizations they're fighting to get by. Yeah. You know, totally.
But so that's how 2018 went. Hard to find teams to practice.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we did good the first 2 events, but we just kind of didn't know how to.
Real quick, sorry, Mike, to interject there, but I'm going to push back on that a little bit because I see divisional teams do it. There's actually a team that I coach called Wrecking Crew based out of New York. And there's another avenue that pro teams absolutely could do because they have a bigger platform. And it's just simple fundraising, right? Mm-hmm. Like the divisional team that I work with, they get a bunch of extra jerseys, and they sell jerseys, they sell hoodies, they sell, the HK joggers actually with their logo on the side, and everybody in their region is like, oh, that's the cool divisional team in our region. They do well. Let's buy that. And they put all that money back into the team fund.
Yeah.
And so, and that's a right off the top of my head, right? Like there's ways to mitigate the cost of bringing another team in, right? Like if you need to spend $2,000 to get a team to come in and practice you, there's ways to do that. You could host a free clinic at your field if you really want it. You can do stuff to make it happen.
You could do stuff, but at the time, like our situation, we didn't see those avenues.
I know. I'm not blaming you, Mikey. I'm just saying for teams out there, it's not impossible. It's a huge uphill battle. It's really difficult.
It is.
But there are ways, you know?
Right.
And I mean, dude, that sucks for a pro team to have to do that, right? But it is possible. And there are ways that pro teams can monetize their team. I actually think Elevation ended up doing it. Why do you think they have divisional teams now? The reason is because they sell the sponsorship packages and they kind of make a little bit of money off the top. Like that's maybe Elevation doesn't, maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I know that's how a lot of these organizations work is they can offer the divisional teams all the way down the line a really good deal. They make a little bit of money off of it. The team gets their packages for cheaper than they would without the pro team attached to them, and it all goes back into the team fund to help reduce the cost of flights and paint, whatever it is that these pro teams have to pay at the actual event. Right. There's ways to do it. You just have to get creative. You have to really attack it, which sucks because then you're focusing less on playing, right? Yeah. Like it makes it difficult. It's not easy by any means. I just wanted to push back on the idea that it's impossible, right?
Yeah. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying for us at the time, we didn't have someone who had the time and the business mindset to do that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it's the business mindset, right? Like we talk about all the time on the show, like you got to treat this game like a business. It's you're not going to go and just get a paycheck for playing. That's going to set you up for the rest of your life. You're just not, now some players, maybe if you can make, 40, 50 grand a year for, 7-8 years when you're young and you don't have a bunch of other bills, like that's decent money. You might be able to do something with it, but not really. Like you have to treat this game like a business. So sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to real quickly kind of offer the listeners, the other side of that, which I think is valuable because a lot of divisional players do need to understand that there are ways. It's just difficult. So,
and there's a lot of ways. You just got to want it. You got to attack it. Yeah, absolutely. And everybody has to be on board, and it's hard to get everybody on board sometimes. So, it's a definitely not an easy thing, but it's doable.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
you ditch your boys. 2 events in, you ditch your boys. You go to the Purple People Eaters.
Well, I didn't want to ditch them. It was just I started viewing Elevation as I got to figure out where to go from here because we're not going to last the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Well, here's another really tough thing, right? Like when you're one of those teams, even if you figure out all of the extra things, the extracurricular stuff to do to support yourselves financially, to where maybe you're getting a free ride, what's the first thing that happens?
People start leaving.
Other teams start picking your players.
Yeah.
You get picked apart, and that's what happened. Like Corey Hall had an amazing first event with you guys. You did too. I remember that in Vegas. But what happens? These players start getting picked, and that just that is something that kind of sucks in professional paintball. Is these lower divisional teams, they're all almost kind of a feeder team. You know, like it's a little bit of a bummer. They're a little bit of a feeder team to the teams that have money.
You're not wrong, dude. That's how it works typically. Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking from the player's perspective, I don't really think it's a bad thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
You're right with that. It sucks for the organization, but it gives players an opportunity, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't know who else. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that's been through the situation, but I mean, I definitely couldn't afford to keep playing paintball if I was spending that much money.
Totally.
Like I needed to find another way, either get on a different team or stop playing altogether.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of validity in that, man. It's like, there's a portion of the pro league that is like a feeder, it's like they're turning these players out, and then they have this dream of sticking together and being the best team in the world, but it almost never happens, unfortunately. No. We just saw go ahead.
Unless you have like a funder behind your team, that makes a big difference. But if you're a normal team,
of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like this season, AC Dallas just got picked to pieces, right? They are not going to be the same team in 2021 that they have been the last couple of years. And we're going to see it happen in the next couple of years. There will be teams that come and nurture these players, and we're going to be like, oh yeah, there's that guy's good on that team. Watch, and then 2 years down the road, he's going to be gone. And then the team is going to turn out another, it's like, it's this vicious cycle.
What's curious about AC Dallas is they have funding.
That's right.
So something internally must have happened, and I don't want to speak too much. I really have no clue.
Of course, me neither. Yeah.
But yeah, something internally must have happened, because for them to kind of, blow up in the fashion that they are, it's a little interesting. And they are not, it's not because of a lack of funding. I know that there are salaries to be given on that squad. So, anytime like one of the top pro teams has an open tryout, that's usually not a good thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because these top teams can kind of pick and choose if they want players. So I am curious to see what AC Dallas is going to look like. But, I'm curious with like AC Diesel as well. I thought originally, when you started hearing of all these moves, obviously TJ Danner to X Factor, that's a big one. Some other ones I don't know if have been released yet. It's not really on me to say, but I was like, okay, well, maybe AC Dallas is just going to consolidate down to AC Diesel to be one team.
Yeah.
But some of the other moves that I'm hearing, I don't know, maybe, well, obviously not, because now AC Dallas is having these open tryouts as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's very interesting. We'll see. We shall see.
Yep. We'll keep you all posted. So
yeah, 100%.
So you join up with DMG, and they're out of Sacramento. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I was working out there a lot. I usually work in Benicia. It's like an hour and a half drive from Sacramento.
Dude, Benicia? That's one of my favorite places in the world.
Oh, yeah, dude. They got like the nicest little city right there.
Yeah.
They got a boardwalk that sees the bay.
Yeah.
There's some refineries in the way of the bay, but it still looks good.
Yeah, yeah. My boy, Mark Nelson from Oakland Assassins used to live in Benicia, and I never knew about it, but it's the coolest little it's an old war town. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's crarisy.
Oh, yeah. It's right next to Mare Island.
That's right. Yep.
So I used to drive right by where
the paintball?
Oliver and all them used to play. Like, it's wetlands now, but I would drive by that field every day to get to work for like 2 years straight.
Crazy. That's awesome. Heritage right there. Yeah. So you were in the area and then somehow manifested that getting on DMG.
Yeah. So Dave hit me up before Dallas, like the weekend before, and I was like debating on it, but I decided not to leave. Mm-hmm. So I hit him up before Philly. I was like, if the option's still open, I would like to leave, because I really had no loyalty to anyone on Elevation except for Hal.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got to make the right decision for myself to move forward in my career. Mm-hmm. So I did what I did, played with DMG. I felt like if I wouldn't have got picked up by Dynasty, I probably would have stayed on DMG. We meshed really well, and I think they'll be a really good team soon.
I agree. Yeah. They have the grit to go.
I love DMG. I love what that organization is doing. To me, it's same thing. Like if their good players don't get picked apart, like they're, one or two away from having that experience and composure. Like I feel like they always go 2-2 or right on the bubble, just barely miss it, are always in the games, with the teams. It's like, man, I hope to see them together. Do well. Yeah, hopefully they can stay together because there's a lot of talent. That George McLean kid, I love his attitude. Like he's a George savage, Yeah, he is.
I feel like I had a big part to play in that whole I don't know, the whole community up there, because I was cutting my teeth in Sacramento playing for Oakland. And then when I got on Dynasty, I was still going up there a lot. And I watched Dave Baines from day one when he opened that park. I've been there the whole way. And it's just super cool to see him have this pro team now, like that he created all that, it's just pretty cool. Love that.
Yeah, he definitely did a real good job like building up the scene there. DMG will never die. If their whole pro team got picked apart, their semi-pro team, they got plenty of people that want to fill those roles.
Yeah, that's right. They're hungry out there. They got a deep player base out there, man. It's crazy.
So what made you want to come play for Dynasty then? You had a team that had a good role in, you're getting a lot of points. What about the opportunity is what you wanted?
Well, first off, I want
the $1 million check.
The $1 million check, yeah. Well, he said it was 1.2 million. I was like, $1 million, I'll stay. 1.2, I'll go.
Okay.
Nah, I want to be on a winning team, and I knew on DMG it was going to be like a 3-year process at least.
Yeah.
And I felt like I might not have been the best player on the team, but I was towards the upper half of the team. I wanted to be somewhere where I was on the bottom, and then I could work my way up to being one of the better players on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's really beneficial to have like you, Tyler, both of you guys, Yosh in my ear, all you guys telling me, hey, like, yeah, you did that good, but maybe you try this or maybe do this. I feel like I learned a lot, even though we didn't play much paintball this last year, just going to the practices and seeing the way you guys think about the game and learning the correct way to play the game. Because prior to this, I'm literally just like winging it. Like, like I'm gonna try to go as far as I can. I didn't really realize how important it was to make sure if you trap them inside, to keep them inside until this year.
Mm-hmm.
But like little things like that, I really started taking note of, and that was really like the allure of the team, like, and also their dynasty. So who wouldn't want to?
Yeah, straight up. Yeah. No,
hard
you're
to say
right.
no to the dragon.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of intricacies that I think a lot of players don't understand till they either have someone they can mentor under or get into an organization where people have experienced that. But there's levels to this. There are levels to this game. There are levels to the thought processing of the game, and all the, like, I know we preach about it, but there are so many little minute details that we are scrutinizing day in and day out to make sure that when we step on that field, we don't miss a beat. We don't miss a beat. You know what I mean? We're ready for everything. We're ready to see it all and ready to apply ourselves in the most dominant fashion. So it's a complete consciousness shift. It's an awareness shift. It's a completely new style of play when you are able to get a collective of players together who are processing with that kind of, awareness. It's a game changer when you start to do that, which
100%.
which you're seeing firsthand, having been a part of this organization now, and it's probably like nothing you've ever played prior to these couple of years.
Oh no, like on Elevation, we just kind of plan like, all right, you go here, here, and here. Yeah. And then no planning after that.
Good luck, guys. Hey, you guys. Hey, good luck out there.
Yeah. On DMG, we kind of like planned mid-game, but we really didn't know, like, they have like they're really intelligent, the guys on the team.
Yeah.
But they just don't have a player who's been there and done that and been like the guy creating the game plans. They have Shane Howe, which he gives good insight, but he wasn't the guy like making the game plans like, okay, you go here, you do this, and this is what we're trying to accomplish. Yeah. We lacked that. And on here, after the first meeting, I was like, when we were sitting in it, I was like, dang, this is really nerdy. But if this is what it takes to win, this is what it takes to win.
This is really nerdy.
It is nerdy. You're not wrong. But if you look at like any pro athlete, they nerd out on their craft.
Oh yeah.
Just nerd out. Yeah, for sure.
I didn't realize like how like one step, like Marcelo talking to Ryan, like, oh, like you're in my way, like I can't shoot this. I didn't realize like how big of a deal that was. Like if someone was in my way before, I would just be like,
they were gonna throw blows over that.
No, I just suck it up and be like, okay, like I guess he's got to be there so he can do what he needs to do too.
Yeah,
but
it's a game of inches, man.
Yeah,
it's a game of inches. Routes, everything. Like you break it down to any sport, you are perfecting things down to the most minute little detail.
Yep.
You know, and you know, in paintball, if somebody needs to get their gun off the gate before a runner takes his first 2 steps, you need to be in the right spot. Everyone needs to be lined up correctly. If you are a half a foot over, you might not have the same angle that I need you to have if you're a half a foot inside. You know, like all of this stuff plays such a huge role. And yeah, the stuff that we scrutinize over is no different than what the greats in any sport that are winning in their sport scrutinize over, right? Yeah. And that's like the first understanding that you need to have. If you want to be one of the best in paintball, you better start breaking down every movement you do. And if you think that there's a movement too small to break down, start over because you need to break it down.
Yeah, you got to, like Mikey said, nerd out a little bit and start really digging into what you're doing and try to view yourself from an outside perspective. Like if you can have somebody come film you, have them film you play paintball, or if you could take turns with like another player or whatever. Because when you watch yourself play, you go, oh my God, what was I doing there? I should have been doing this or this. I shouldn't have been looking that way. I should have communicated this. You know, it really shows you a lot about yourself. So Mikey, can you give some of our listeners out there some advice? Maybe there's divisional players or whatever that want to go pro and do what you've done and be a part of a winning organization. What would be some advice that you could give to someone trying to do that adventure?
A couple pieces of advice I could give is whenever you get the layout, go through each motion you're going to make. So if you can get the field to yourself like a day during the week, or maybe you stay a little bit later, you show up a little bit earlier, set up some targets, make sure every move is crisp. When you come out and snap, make sure your ball's right there. Make sure before you move from each spot, you're checking off here, here, here. Yeah. That's really important. What I learned from like you, I think you and Blake told me this. Your first shot has to be right there because you're only going to get that opportunity one time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big part. And then if you could network, that also helps out a lot because then you get more opportunities. Me, I wasn't very good at networking, but later on.
No, but you were. There's a difference. There's a difference, Mikey, that you were good at networking because you're always there. You don't have to be a good talker. You don't have to be have great people skills. You don't have to be, this outgoing, crazy, flamboyant personality.
Actions.
You just need to be there.
The actions speak louder than the words.
You got to be at the field, man. That is networking. You're at the field working. Mm-hmm. That is it. That's what you did. That was your networking.
Well, I guess by that I meant I've seen other guys get more opportunity because they became friends with other pro players.
Like who? Give us some names.
Damn, bro, you're gonna have me call them out?
This is play the game, baby. Who is it?
No, I ain't calling them out.
Okay, all right.
But you're strong. Right. There is a difference there a little bit, in the verbal verbal aspect of it or the action aspect of it. You actively were there, and maybe you weren't the most communicative and tapping in with everybody and shaking hands, kissing babies and doing this, that, and the other to make sure that you're the guy. But what you did is you showed up and you worked your ass off. Even if you never said a peep, people are going to see that, and that speaks volumes. So almost for me, more than the schmoozer, right? Like the schmoozer better be damn good at paintball, because I don't really want to hear what you have to say. I just want to see what you can do. I really don't care about the words. I need the actions. I need those to show up on the field, because you could talk all day to me outside of these nets, but when you step inside of here, you better come with it. Otherwise, I don't want to hear anything, So I would much rather have someone that doesn't talk and shows up and does the work than schmoozing me. You know what I mean?
Right.
I hate being schmoozed.
I get that.
Fun. It's fun. It's entertaining. I enjoy it. So don't stop the schmoozing. Let's keep that going.
I get that side, but I feel like a lot of getting into the pro division is networking, like who you know. Like
You're not wrong.
A lot of people, well, maybe not a lot, but some guys, they start out on a lower level team and they go from there. So you have to get your foot in the door, because if you're playing semi-pro, Marcelo, Tyler, are you going to go watch semi-pro games? Honestly.
Yeah, no.
You're going to watch a guy on a lower level pro team play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna watch a guy in a lower level pro team. That's definitely the most prominent way.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say is, for me, since I've been doing these clinics for so long now, it's amazing that we also have the BKI Combine. It's kind of all fallen into a place where now there is an opportunity. And this was like, it was before your time, Mikey. It was obviously before my time and Tyler's time. But now there really is an opportunity to get noticed for divisional players, and I guess in a way you could call that networking. But these kids that come to clinics, they build these relationships with us, and it's like, okay, damn, now I want to pay attention to what your career is like. Like, I can look at a player and say, this kid has talent, right? This kid has what it takes. Now it's going to be a matter of how hard they work, if they stick with it, all the other variables that could come into play. And I'm talking about some of the younger players that have come. Right. Now BKI offers these, the paintball combine, where you legitimately get to come and showcase your skills in front of 12 pros and coaches. Yeah. Your scores are actually written down. They are recorded online for the world to see. This is a way for these players to get on the radar of pros, pro teams, pro players, pro coaches, and so yeah, we are more likely to go and watch their games. Now, semi-pro, I can't tell you the last time I watched like a full semi-pro match, okay,
I was talking more without PKI.
No, and you're right. And you're right. And that's why I'm saying I'm just adding that times are kind of changing, which is great. This is exactly what we wanted to build, because you look at other sports, right? Other sports, because you're right, Mikey. Traditionally, it is about, being in the right place at the right time, having a connection with a team. Now, that doesn't mean you need to have everything else first. You need to have your fundamentals in line. You need to show up. You need to be somewhat impressive on the field. You can't just have connections. It doesn't work that way unless you want to come in and pay for the team.
Yeah.
But you could have a player that is definitely, player A could be much better than player B, but player B has more connections. They might get an opportunity sooner. That was kind of traditionally how paintball goes. Yeah. Fortunately now, player A, I forgot what order I did, but you guys know what I mean. Player A now has an opportunity to show up and showcase their skills in front of, the world, essentially.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're building this, because you're right. For a long time, that was always my biggest concern, is we go places and I see a kid who is great, but say he's in Wisconsin, right? Yeah. Middle of nowhere. There's no pro team in that area. There's really no path to success in paintball for that player. But we're building that infrastructure right now, which is amazing. So times are changing there, which is great. But you're right. For a long time, myself included, I got my opportunity much because of the geographical location in which I was born. Yeah. I was able to go to the field every weekend and pro teams were there. Tyler, it's the same with you.
For sure.
The pros were at your field. That doesn't mean we didn't put in the work. That doesn't mean that we weren't capable when the time came, but we built those relationships and they knew okay, these kids are on our radar, all because we got lucky of where we lived, Yeah.
Right.
And you had to show up and it was a different time than,
Oh yeah.
you would be harassed and it was a little bit wild. But I think that's what adds that different gear. What do we got Mikey doing over here?
Yeah, shout out to the listeners. Mikey's on the YouTube. I don't know what's going on. His wired in headphones died. How'd that happen?
No, my computer came unplugged.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was at 1%, bro. Made the
Dude.
cut.
Oh, dang, dude. Good save, bro. Good save.
The 1%er.
Yeah.
All right, so you've now made to Dynasty to finish out the lineage, and this year has been crazy. Obviously, it's been COVID times, and we've had to navigate that. But through it all, you never stopped working hard, and we kept grinding all the way to this World Cup, tournament, and we came out with the big W. But I really like what Marcelo said. There's so much more to be created through all this. I know it's great. We won World Cup and all, but I'm really not satisfied. I think that we can be better even. And that's a pretty powerful thing to say, because right now we sit as the number one team, in the pro leagues. And I think that it's kind of scary for people to hear us say that, because we're building a monster right now. We're building something that's going to be hard to stop. And I think that if we apply ourselves the way that we have, that we could be the dynasty that everyone always talks about, that everyone remembers from their early years. I think that we can keep that kind of fire and that kind of lineage and that kind of heritage alive with this organization. And I'm so proud to have you guys on my team, to have the organization that we have, because we have a truly spectacular group of guys and an athletically sound group of guys that can take it the distance and do the things that we need to do. So I'm just super pumped on that. And Mikey, dude, bro, your first pro win, World Cup.
Yeah. That's pretty epic, dude. Pretty epic first win.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mikey, what was it like being in that final match? Like, were you nervous before that game?
Yeah, I definitely think
Yeah.
I think the nervousness showed. But I don't know.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I didn't play as good as I could have. But going forward, going forward, I want to be like you guys were, like the last two guys alive clutching it out. I want to be that guy. So,
dude, we got lucky, bro. Good.
Yeah, dude. I was gonna say I had a horrible finals match. I've said this. Like I went back and watched him. Like, man, it was tough in that spot, because we started not hitting shots off the break, and they made it wide, and you just could not live in that damn can. They were in the 50 on both sides, and it was like, okay, everything that has worked this whole event. What's kind of funny about that though, is the final match is the only match that went the way I kept saying to Ryan it was going to go. Yeah. That this can is not going to be able to stop the Dorito side, and they're going to be in the snake thing, and this thing's going to suck. Like it. We got to the event, and Ryan and I are always battling back and forth with like game plans. He's a wizard, man. And he played amazing at the event. Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Greenspan. Yeah. But it's funny because the whole event, I'm like, oh man, I was wrong. Like, this can is slowing down this side. This can is doing this. Yeah. And then in the final match, it was exactly how I was like in practice. I was like, dude, this is not a good spot. This spot sucks,
Need to get out of here.
But yeah, I got to get out of there. But
when they made that push, it was like, because we were up a few points, and then when they tied it back up, and then it goes to overtime, the only thing that we can do is be in the moment more than they are, and we thrived in that moment, and we won it, So it was just like, I guess that's the biggest point of advice in anything, and that is just, you're gonna get a little bit lucky too. It's like the sky's gonna part open, the stars are gonna align, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, this is handed to me on a silver platter. I shot Ninos out of the center bunker simply because they messed up on communication, not because I did anything spectacular. I got to the 50 and they didn't realize it, which worked out for me, and was able to get that kill out of the middle, and it worked out. But it's also like, he dove into the corner, core sampled, took him out of the game. And then Ninos got bad information, and then it all just played into our, it's like, it's just like, whoa, it happened.
Well, here's what's funny about that.
Great shot, it's like, it's just crazy,
Here's what's funny about that, though. I mean, honestly, if they did their due diligence before that point,
totally,
they should have looked down and seen what 5 were on the field. That's an important thing.
for sure.
You see, we have Tyler, Dalton, and Blake.
Yeah.
That communication in the middle of that point doesn't you don't mess that up.
That's right.
Because you know that you guys are the 3 Dorito players, right? So you shoot Blake, you shoot Dalton. If they would have, and at World Cup, it's a little more difficult because you start on the ends. Well, not just the crowd, but you start on the ends, right? So it's hard to see from your pit all the way down to their side.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like,
the players should see that.
Yeah, the players should see that. The players should see that 100%.
I
know I look down, I'm like, okay, I've got Billy and Rainey over here. Like, I know who's over here.
Yeah.
So when Rainey, came to our side, I shot him bunkering Ryan. I know Billy's on that side. Mm-hmm. He was in the corner off the break. I knew immediately he was going to be in that 50. That was the only reason he didn't shoot me when he first got there. He got there and like wrapped, and I was kind of exposed, but it was just registering to me. I was like, oh God, Rainey made a move. I know Billy's going to be in that 50 just because I know the players, like all of the pros, the top pros, they know the players because we've been playing against each other for damn how long. We just had Billy on the show. It's been like 13 years that I've been playing against him. You too, Tyler. It's crazy. So we know each other. All they had to do was look down and see the 3 that we had. And like, that changes that whole thing. Maybe if Jesse Stevens doesn't core sample going to that corner, that game's different, all of that stuff is,
bro,
which, he should have been able to get that dirt out too. Like, I feel like he must have panicked. And shout out to Jesse. Jesse's the man, dude. I love he has a similar story to you, Mikey. Like coming up in Louisiana, he truly was just wouldn't take no for an answer. Mm-hmm. And now has become one of the better players on one of the best teams in the world, So shout out to Jesse. I really would like to get him on the show as well.
Yep.
But
absolutely.
So many things could have went differently and we would be sitting here not champions. That's why I'm hungry to get back to work. We need to be so much better.
Yeah.
We need to be way better if we want to repeat any of this success in 2021, and it starts now. Like, again, I've had some weeks of celebration and I love that. I enjoy that, but
it's over.
We need to get a leg up on training and preparing for next year before these other teams, and they could listen to this. Good. I hope it motivates them.
Yeah.
Because their motivation motivates me.
Yeah.
And Ty, I know you feel the same way. Like, Mike, I hope you feel the same way. Yeah. When other people are doing stuff well, dude, it motivates me even more.
Up.
Let's go. Yeah. Fire it up.
Fire it up, boy. Let's go. Yeah, Mikey, dude, it's been cool to watch your story, man. And it's the perfection of your story is crazy because you got shot and wanted to quit in the first couple times, and now it's just so full circle to where you can't stop playing. You know what I mean? So what do you want to accomplish? What are your goals and aspirations in 21? And not just as a team, but as a player. What can we do to be better so that we can take more trophies home, man? That's the name of the game.
Well, I feel like I could step my game up and be like a more assertive snake player.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
One of my goals is to be in the 5, like one of the main 5 all the time.
Yeah.
That's where I want to be on the team.
Hell yeah.
I understand it takes work and I got to put in the work to get to where I want to be.
That's it. Well, it's a numbers game, man. You do the reps, you're going to get the results. So just keep working hard. That's all you got to do, man. And when you show up on that field, nothing else exists except for those moments, and make sure you capture all those moments and make the most of it. Be the best teammate you can be, and the world is your oyster, man. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. I love that.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's what it's all about, dude.
All righty, Mikey. Well, shoot, dude. I feel like this was an epic one. I feel like this is the most that you've talked since you've been on Dynasty.
Yeah, dude.
Probably.
This is the most that you've talked, hands down. There's no way that's not true. Yeah. Mikey, dude, we're excited, man. I am excited to see your growth as a player for sure. I think like a win like this, is just going to boost you. And it boosts all of us, right? Like we can show up with some confidence. We know what we're capable of. And if we continue to be diligent in the process,
that's
we're going to have a lot of success for sure, man.
Hell yeah. Yep. So, hey, where can people find you, Mike? Your Instagram. I know you got a YouTube channel coming up soon. You were talking about.
Nah, MJU79 on Instagram.
Yep. Dude, I love that your signature is MJU79 too, like on all your stuff.
I keep it simple, baby.
Yeah, there's only one. There's only one of you, which is amazing. You know what I mean? And huge shout out to Arizona Paintball, my neighbor, dude. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
real quick, I do have a question, because again, there's been so much sacrifice with you, Mikey, with your career and how much you had to pay and all this stuff. Was it worth it?
Was it worth it?
Has it been worth it so far? Is it worth it?
Oh yeah, it's beyond worth it. Like, I feel like my satisfaction, like if I were to just be working, so when I had to just work to gain seniority, my days fucking sucked. I hated it. Yeah. But now that I have paintball, and I'm like, yeah, like I got something to look forward to, something to strive for, and I'm doing it with like people that I've been looking up to for a really long time and people that I really admire. I'm not trying to toot your guys' horn.
Dude, it's all love. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Mikey.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that makes it 100% worth it. My mom got to see like me follow through something, and I got to reach a goal, and I said I was going to do something, and I did it. Yeah. So there's nothing in my mind better than that.
I love that.
Awesome, man. That is so inspirational. That's great, dude.
That's the cherry on top, baby. And the story's just getting started. So
that's right.
We're gonna continue to write these pages.
Yeah, man.
But
yeah.
All right,
party
guys.
on, dudes.
Well, damn, party on.
Yeah,
thanks.
Hey, enjoy. And also, I want to just say huge shout out to Meta Threads. They just closed a deal on Zoomies. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I saw that.
That's tight, dude.
Yeah. So
that is tight.
And they also signed with Xbox. So Meta Threads, which is HK Army's sister company, is doing big things in the real world. You could please go support them. Go to zoomies.com and buy a Meta Threads shirt and show them some love. They would really appreciate it. And it's just really cool to see them doing things with Xbox and Zoomies and real companies in the big time world, It's crazy. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, man. And Mikey, dude, thank you for all of the stories, the fun times, the crying, the laughing, all of it. It's been great. And we can't wait to see you soon for some more practices here, brother.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys. Marcelo, don't forget that time I beat you at Topgolf.
Yeah, baby. Let them know.
Oh, goodness. Did this happen? Don't forget. Don't forget. People don't forget.
That's right.
All right. Well, hey, you know what, fellas? We should definitely do a little Arizona golf trip.
Yes.
Here during the offseason. You guys have beautiful weather out there.
Let's go.
Come out there and I'll show you why I'm still the boss, Mikey. Okay. we can do that. We can I can bring my paintball gun if you want. We can do it all. We can do it all. All right, guys.
Can't wait, man.
Hell
all
yeah.
right, dudes.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Later.
Mikey Urena, ladies and gentlemen. You guys got to meet the man. I believe that is truly more that he has spoken in those 2.5 hours than the entire time he's been on Dynasty. Mikey is just such a good kid, a true student of the game, somebody who is pursuing greatness on all aspects, and we have tons of love for him. I know that the future is very bright and can't thank him enough for coming onto the show. I hope that it shed some insight for some of you divisional players. I think Mikey had a lot of really valuable things to say. And I just really am thankful that he's our teammate and that we get back to work here pretty soon for the 2021 season. If you guys would like, you can head over to ptgpaintball.com. We have all of our shows on there. We've got our merch, our Patreons on there. We really appreciate any support. We are incredibly thankful for you guys, as always. Our website was built by Rusty Glaze at Concert Pursuit. If you guys need any sort of web design, Rusty is your guy. He is Coach of the Year, Web Designer of the Year as well, maybe of the century. Rusty Glaze just crushes it for us, and we're so thankful for him and thankful for all of you guys. We hope that it's a month of celebrating and festivities with your family, your loved ones. We hope you guys are out there enjoying yourselves and taking this time to stay healthy, practice safe measures, and enjoy time with your loved ones. All right, everybody. Until next time, we'll see you very soon.